Greetings. My name is Janet Fashakin. I'm the CEO of Joseph and Citadel LLC of USA. We bring people to walk through the lands of the Bible. I greet you all my friends from Italy. America, what am I talking to? America. Ẹgbẹ́ mi gbẹ́gbẹ́ wọn sórí fóònù kí ti ẹ̀gbọ́ ohun ẹ̀ létí. Kí n gbọ́ létí mi. Igbó ọ̀sà. Igbó ọ̀sà. Orílẹ̀ ayé ní àgbégbé Yorùbá nation. Olúwa ọmọ àgbẹ̀ Yoruba nation.
Yálà olùlọ́jọ́ kọkànlá oṣù kẹwàá ṣe fẹ́ gbọ́. Ọjọ́ tó ń sọjọ́ ìbí ọmọ aládìkún. Olóyè Sunday Májàsọ́lá Àdìsá ọmọ Adéyẹmọ aka Ìgbòho Òòṣà. Nípa bí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ìfẹ́lọ́dún àpapọ̀ Yorùbá lágbàáyé lábẹ́ ààrẹ wa. Ọmọọba Adébáyọ̀ Fáládé ti gbàkejì ààrẹ. Ọmọ Kẹ́hìndé Ìgèàdùnbí Kentos ti ń ṣe ìrọ́kẹ̀kẹ̀ ìgbáradì níbàámu pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti ẹ̀mí ìforihàn. Wàgbékalẹ̀ àyẹ́sí ọjọ́ ìbí Ìgbòho fún tọdún yìí pẹ̀lú àkọlé Dinner with Ìgbòho. Bákan náà la ó mọ gba ọba ògbóni àgbáyé lálejò Tajudeen Ọlárẹ̀wájú Àjàlá àti bàbá Adésọjí Tàlàbí àwòrò ṣàṣà eégún mọ̀gájí nílùú London láti wá ṣe àyẹ́sí fún olóyè Ìgbòho lọ́jọ́ náà tí ó wáyé nínú gbọ̀ngàn ńlá ní London Kensington 179 to 199 Holland Park Avenue London W114UL United Kingdom bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago 7 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ẹlẹ́lẹ́dago 12 òru. Bákan náà láti ń kí wa kú ìmúrasílẹ̀ ìwọ́de làmìlaka tẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ ènìyàn tí ó wáyé nílùú ọba 1 million rally in London lọ́jọ́ 12 oṣù kẹwàá. Ó jẹ́ ọjọ́ kejì dínà pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho léyìí Tọ́láyọmí Kóìkí àti bàbá wa Gbẹ̀du ọmọ ṣàkóso ẹ̀ lú ọ̀kan ọ̀jọ̀kan àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìrọ̀rùn. Bàbá ṣe máa fi ọkọ̀ àjàgbé ńlá ní London route bus gbé àwọn àgbààgbà àti àwọn abarapá gbogbo láti BBC in Oxford Street títí tí ìwọ́de ó fi parí sí Paris Trafalgar Square tó bá wá di ọjọ́ 13 ọjọ́ 17 pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho láwọn máa ṣàbẹ̀wò lọ sí ìlú Manchester gan fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí láti dá sí ètò ìfọlọ́ntírìlì ẹ lè pè tàbí kẹ́ WhatsApp Ọláyọmí Kóìkì lórí +447 594 050 979 Kéde Ìjàdùbí lórí +447 570 320 030 Ṣọlá kò gbọdọ̀ kú lórí +353 863 375 537 bákan náà ní ẹ lè kàn sí Tóyìn Ọláoyè lórí +447 896 018 764 lápapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá àgbáyé pátápátá YSDN pẹ̀lú Yorùbá World Media Home and Diaspora àti gbogbo ìkànnì mìíràn tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ sókè fún ìjàǹgbara ọmọ Yorùbá. ní àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ìfọlọ́dún àpapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe ń kí ọmọ aládìkú wípé ẹ kú ọdún ẹ kú ìyèdún a sì ń ṣàmọ́dún sẹ̀mí ìtayà tọmọ. Yorùbá World Media ló kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá.
Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ ń káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́ ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́ nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba tá à ń bú jòyè èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bọ́ mo pera mi padà ẹ mọ̀ jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́ ẹ mọ̀ bolóṣèlú kankan ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọba ò lè sọ ìjòyè lè sọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá àjàmọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ abú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣẹ wọn àwọn ará pẹ̀lú wọn àwọn àgbà tán bá jó lóṣèlú tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ á gbé wọn mọ́ra á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni à ní bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣejẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ má jẹ́ àdàlúrú a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́ mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yẹn lọ́lọ́run fún mi mi ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fún jà Yorùbá big man ni mi àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀ pé sọ́wọ́ ni mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́ mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ kí n wọ gbowó kí n gbéra kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀ kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀ kí Fúlàní mọ́ dá mi dúró títì kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́ n ò lè lódò ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wa lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Jésù Olúwa wa.
lálẹ́ olùlọ́jọ́ 11 oṣù kẹwàá ṣe fẹ́ gbọ́ ọjọ́ tó ń sọjọ́ ìbí ọmọ aládìkú olóyè Sunday Májàsọ́lá Àdìsá ọmọ Adéyẹmọ aka Ìgbòho Òòṣà nípa bí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ.
Nígbà láíláí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ọ̀rọ̀ ṣàkọlẹ̀ gbilẹ̀ bíi gbòǹgbò igi Ọ̀yọ́ sì ní agbára láti gba ìṣàkọlẹ̀ ní ọwọ́ àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó kù. Ní àsìkò tá à ń sọ yìí Látòòṣà ni olórí ogun ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí a sì mọ̀ sí Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Kakanfò ní agbára tí kò sì sí ẹni tó lè fi ọwọ́ pa idà rẹ̀ lójú. Bí Kakanfò ṣe ní agbára ni àwọn ajẹ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀ náà ní agbára. Kódà àṣẹmáṣe báwí òun náà ni àwọn ajẹ́lẹ̀ wọ̀nyí. Ayé ìjẹkújẹ pọ̀ fún àwọn ajẹ́lẹ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí tí kò sì sí ẹni tó lè bá wọn wí. ìmẹ̀sí ilé ní òkété ti bórò máa jẹ́lẹ̀ látòòṣà lọ́wọ́ ní èyí tó fa ogun Èkìtì parapọ̀ tí wọ́n tún ń pè ní ogun Kírìjí. Ara ìwàkiwà àwọn ajẹ́lẹ̀ wọ̀nyí ló mú kí wọ́n kọlu alágbára òkè ìmẹ̀sí kan tí orúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Fábùnmi. Ajẹ́lẹ̀ bá àfẹ́sọ́nà Fábùnmi ní àjọṣepọ̀. Fábùnmi bo ẹ̀kẹ́ diwọ́. Fábùnmi ń wòye. Orí tako ọdẹ nínú igbó kò rẹ́ran pa. Orí tako dẹ́dòdẹ́dò kò rẹ́ja pa lálẹ́ odò. Orí tako Ajẹ́lẹ̀ Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò ó dẹni ilẹ̀ lójijì. Igbó kan tó jẹ́ igbó àìwọ̀ fún àwọn àjòjì òun náà ni Ajẹ́lẹ̀ yìí wọ̀ lọ o. Jíjáde tí ó jáde ọwọ́ Fábùnmi òkè ìmẹ̀sí ló jáde sí. Fábùnmi pa Ajẹ́lẹ̀ ó sì gé orí rẹ̀. Wàhálà dé. Fábùnmi fọwọ́ pa idà rẹ̀ látòòṣà lójú. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí bí látòòṣà nínú. Ó sì pàṣẹ kí wọ́n lọ gbé orí Fábùnmi wá sí Ìbàdàn. Àwọn akọ́dàwọ̀ òkè ìmẹ̀sí láti lọ pa Fábùnmi kí wọ́n sì gbé orí rẹ̀ lọ fún Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò.
Ní Fábùnmi òkè ìmẹ̀sí náà.
Kàtìkàtì. Ẹ dákun ṣé wo ni ò tó wo ni àbí wòyàn ni ò tó wòyàn. Fábùnmi. Ẹ̀gbin gùn. Ààrẹ ní báyìí àfi ká ti orí aláṣejù bomi gbóná. Wọ́n lè má gun wá gàràgàrà báyìí.
Fábùnmi òkè ìmẹ̀sí ti kọjá àyè rẹ̀. Ohun tójú aláṣejù sì máa ń rí ojú rẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ rí. Kò wá ṣe fúnra rẹ̀ nìkan ó tún ti kó bá gbogbo òkè ìmẹ̀sí. Ó ti gbá sọ̀sọ̀ lójú.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ó dẹ̀ di dandan kọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ ò ṣẹ̀jẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Mélòó ń gbogbo Èkìtì gan tí Fábùnmi fi wá ń kọ mí gàgà. Ààrẹ ó ti sọ pé ọmọ burúkú lòun. Ọmọ burúkú eléyìí àwọn Èkìtì parapọ̀ ó wà á lè fẹ́ kó pàjẹ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Wọ́n ti pe ṣoṣo wọ́n sì rí ṣoṣo. Ìjà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ o.
Ṣùgbọ́n kò rí bí wọ́n ti ṣe rò ó. Fábùnmi pa lára àwọn akọ́dà látòòṣà tó wá láti Ìbàdàn. Ó sì fi orí wọn ránṣẹ́ padà sí Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Nígbà tí Fábùnmi rí wípé ogun yìí lè gbé òun mì ló bá lọ sí Èkìtì ní ìlú ìyá rẹ̀ fún ìrànlọ́wọ́. Gbogbo Èkìtì dìde láti ran Fábùnmi òkè ìmẹ̀sí lọ́wọ́. Gbogbo ìlú Èkìtì pátápátá ni wọ́n dá ọmọ ogun jọ papọ̀ fún ìrànlọ́wọ́. Ibẹ̀ ní Èkìtì parapọ̀ ti jáde. Yàtọ̀ sí àwọn Èkìtì tó dìde ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún Fábùnmi, Ìjẹ̀ṣà, Ẹ̀gbá, Ìjẹ̀bú àti àwọn ẹ̀yà Yorùbá mìíràn tún ṣe ìrànwọ́ fún Fábùnmi òkè ìmẹ̀sí lọ́nà kan àti ọ̀nà mìíràn. Ògèdèǹgbé Ìjẹ̀ṣà náà kó ipa ribiribi nínú ogun Èkìtì parapọ̀. Ogun bẹ́ sílẹ̀ ní ìmẹ̀sí ilé. Ìbọn ń rọ́ bí àrá. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ alágbára ló sùn lójú ìjà. Bí ogun yìí ṣe lágbára tó láàrin Èkìtì àti Ìbàdàn, àwọn kan nínú ìran Yorùbá wọ́n tún fi ìṣòro yìí wọ́n fi ń dá okòwò, wọ́n fi ń ṣọrọ̀ ajé.
ẹ̀yin ọmọ aládé, ẹ̀yin ògo ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀, yóò ti pẹ́ tó tẹ́ ẹ máa fi ogun ja ara yín. Okun àti agbára tó yẹ kí ẹ papọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìran Yorùbá láti kọjú ìjà sí àwọn ọ̀tá yín ni ẹ fi ń bára yín jà yìí o. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ dìde, ẹ parí aáwọ̀ tó wà láàrin yín kí ìran yín lè di pàtàkì ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Ẹ wò, ọ̀pá ìṣọ̀kan yín ó ti kán o, ṣùgbọ́n mo fún yín ní ọ̀pá ìṣọ̀kan mìíràn lónìí kí ẹ sì máa ṣe àjọyọ̀ ìfẹ́ àti ìṣọ̀kan láàrin yín lọ́dọọdún. Àwọn ẹ̀yà kan yóò darapọ̀ mọ́ yín láti mú àwọn nǹkan mèremère wá fún yín. lára àwọn ohun tí wọn yóò mú wá fún yín ní ẹ̀sìn tuntun. Ẹ kíyèsára kí ẹ̀sìn wọ̀nyí má padà sọ ìran Yorùbá di ọ̀tá ara wọn lẹ́ẹ̀kejì o. Ẹ má ṣe gba ẹ̀sìn àti òṣèlú láàyè láti ta ọfà ìpínyà sáàrin yín lọ́jọ́ iwájú. Ẹ máa pe ìpàdé ìṣọ̀kan Yorùbá lọ́dọọdún láti máa rántí ọjọ́ òní.
Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi, gbogbo ọmọ aládé gbogbo, àjọ̀dún ọdún yìí tún ti kò àyájọ́ ọjọ́ ìṣọ̀kan àlàáfíà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, èyí tí yóò wáyé ní ọdún yìí ní Ilé Ifẹ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ọ̀jájá Ọ̀nìrìṣà. Ilé Ifẹ̀ ní kí gbogbo wa ó ti pàdé nínú ọgbà fásitì Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ Ilé Ifẹ̀. Ibẹ̀ ni pàdé tọdún yìí ó ti wáyé, yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ 21 títí di ọjọ́ 23 ọdún 2024 tá a wà nínú rẹ̀ yìí. Eré ìtàgé àti àwọn onírúurú ètò bíi ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ àti ọ̀rọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ ni ó máa wáyé láti ẹnu àwọn lọ́balọ́ba. Ọ̀túnba Gbénga Daniel jẹ́ ìkan lára pàtàkì nínú àwọn àlejò tí ó wà ní ìkàlẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ náà. Àwọn àlejò tó ń bọ̀ láti òkè òkun, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí wọ́n ti tà lẹ́rú lọ látọjọ́ tó ti pẹ́. Ìpàtẹ yóò wáyé, gbogbo ènìyàn pátá la pè síbẹ̀. Ọba Ọ̀jájá fẹ́ gbà wá lálejò àjọ̀dún ìṣọ̀kan ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Kò sógun mọ́, kò sọ́tẹ̀ mọ́.
gbẹ̀yìn ẹ má gbẹ̀yìn, àwa lálẹ́ ọjọ́ ẹ̀yẹ, àwa ló yẹ kínú wa dùn. Torí tó bá ṣe pé gbogbo àwọn ọkùnrin wa ti kú sógun Kírìjí ní 1886, kí làbá máa sọ, ṣáà dìlúbìnrin ni. Torí àwa ló yẹ kínú wa dùn pé wọn ò pa gbogbo ọkùnrin, àfọ̀tẹ̀, àfìjà, àfibàrán wa jẹ́. Obìnrin mélòó ní ìbákú láti 1886 sí dìsìn, ká sì pé ogun wọn ò dáwọ́ dúró. Ẹ mọye tí ẹ má gbẹ̀yìn. A pé gbogbo ẹ̀yin obìnrin, ẹ sara yín jọ ní sọ̀rọ̀ kẹ́ ẹ má sọ àwọn sányán tó da òfì àlárì ní tó da. Kẹ́ ẹ wà ọwọ́, kẹ́ ẹ wà ọrùn, kẹ́ ẹ ró dẹ́dẹ́dẹ́, kẹ́ ẹ kàn dúdúdú. Ilé Ifẹ̀ yá lọ́dọ̀ bàbá wọn Ọ̀nìrìṣà yọ́gbà lálejò. Ẹ̀yin ará Ọ̀ṣun, ní kíákíá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí filé pọtí kẹ́ ẹ mọ́ fọ̀nà rókà báyìí. Ẹ̀yin ọmọdé o, ẹgbẹ̀yìn o, torí tiyín la mọ̀ ṣe ń ṣe gbogbo eléyìí, torí ẹ̀yin ọmọ ní ẹ̀dàpẹ̀ bọ́ta. Ẹlẹ́yin ọmọdé, ẹ̀túyáyáyá, gbogbo ń tẹ́ bá mọ̀ ṣe lọ́jọ́ náà ẹ wá dán. Gbogbo àrà tí ń bẹ́nu yín ẹ mọ̀ dán wò. Èmi mọ̀ sọ.
And a very good afternoon and welcome. Mo kí gbogbo wa káàkiri gbogbo tí ẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ti ìrọ̀lẹ́ yìí tí a mọ̀ sí Koiki Media Self-Determination Campaign. There's a lot of activities going on and we have to just keep up with so many of it. We'll be telling you everything. Gbogbo tó yẹ kí gbogbo wa mọ̀ náà ni a máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Ẹ bá wa fi ìdílé nǹkan kí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò náà. Àkọ́kọ́ lẹ máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Please share the program and invite your friends as well and your family.
Shine.
Happy Sunday, and it is the 22nd day of the month of September. Shout out to everyone, and I hope that the Sunday is going as planned in your own location. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa tí à ń pè ní Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. There's a lot of activities happening. There's a lot happening as well in the location 419 and also within the Yoruba Nation struggle and campaign. So let's first remind ourselves that as tomorrow there's a big thing happening in Ile-Ife called the Yoruba National Unity Day. See, the Koiki Media team has arrived in Ile-Ife, as I can confirm, and I'm sure you've seen their live transmission from there. So as we look forward to tomorrow, when a lot of the activities Mama Jadi, Akoko Kiba Power, Professor ADEBANJI Akintoye, that remains the leader of the Yoruba self-determination struggle, and also at 89, that wants the best. We've been able to learn a lot of history from this man, and we are grateful to have him around, and I pray pé kí Elédùmarè kó túbọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀mí bàbá wa dáadáa. Kódà tá bá gbọ́ interview tí bàbá tí a bá ṣe interview ní Ilé-Ifẹ̀ ní ọ̀sán yìí, some few hours ago, they have nobody to give us history. Nigeria is not going to give you history. Your politicians only for history. So the only man that can give us the kind of history that is beautiful, that knows that we are not from Arab and all the kind of different information that has been diluted, is the historian, the emeritus Professor ADEBANJI Akintoye. And we are grateful, very, very grateful to have him, with us. So a kí bàbá wa dáadáa, a dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ fún wọn, fún gbogbo akíkanjú wọn, even in the midst of all the people that have tried to bring him down, hoping that maybe that will stop him from the participation and the struggle to free his people from the shackles and the bondage of what is known as Nigeria. So, a dúpẹ́ fún bàbá Akintoye dáadáa, k'Ọlọ́run kó túbọ̀ fún wọn ní ẹ̀mí gígùn àti ìmọ̀ tó máa fi gbé wa dé ilẹ̀ ìlérí lórúkọ Jésù, inshallah. Bí ti ṣe wá ń kí bàbá wa Professor ADEBANJI Akintoye, a lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ká kí àwọn tí wọ́n ń palẹ̀ mọ́ fún ètò tí ó ti súnmọ́ tán báyìí, tí a mọ̀ sí lára irọ́ táwọn òyìnbó gbé kalẹ̀ fún wa. Ìyẹn ni àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí ní some 138 years ago, when there was not even a country called Nigeria. If you minus 138 of the Kiriji War, kò tí sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria. But how the Yoruba people fall in love with this contraction, and how we will do everything to pull it out. Since the Zamfara is telling us that they know the Boko Haram, the bandit, they even know their houses. By the time Power no ma bere trouble tiwa, nobody will have no right to stop us. You know me now. At least you know me on the social media. So when we start our own, Koiki now, Koiki ṣe wá dẹni tó wá ń gbébọn tó ń jà tó ń pa nǹkan jẹ́, because à ń sọ nísìnyí pé let us try to resolve the issues amicably. But it looks like the senseless, bastard, crazy, bomb bastard Yoruba people and their politicians think that we will just keep quiet. I'm going to come back to that. But let me first say that tomorrow, if you are privileged to be in Yoruba land, if you are privileged, I know some of us have seen all these bastards like Benga Daniel. Don't worry about all that. Like I always say, negotiation must still continue. So whether Benga Daniel is there is not the issue. He's a bastard. And they're all criminals anyway. But the most important thing we need to understand is that we're talking about things that have affected Yoruba people. It got to affect Yoruba for a very long time. We're talking about the Kiriji War. This war, Baba Akintoye ti ṣàpọ̀lọpọ̀ àlàyé fún wa lórí ẹ̀, where you can listen to it if you want to find it. Also, one thing that also they will be discussing, which is the reason why táwa ṣe ń campaign for self-determination. Because láàrin méjì pé àwọn Britain, àwọn ṣekúṣẹyẹ, àwọn ìkà tí wọ́n join ní this contraction country tẹ́ ń pè Nigeria. The Fulanis were not part of Nigerians. We know that, everybody knows that, but how the bastard Yoruba people and olórí burúkú that I will continue to curse you, especially you bastard that wants us to save Nigeria. So tomorrow, they'll be discussing on the symposium. It's going to be a long day. So when tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ Yoruba, it's free. You're not going to pay for it. Just find your way to the Oduduwa Hall or Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife. That should be competing with Cambridge and Oxford and any other university around the world. But olùṣà ọmọ Yorùbá tó yẹ pé olórí burúkú ni wọ́n fi máa lọ kàwé abroad. So we can abandon Obafemi Awolowo University. That should have been the #1 in the world if things have gone the way it is meant to be. So we won't have to be paying 28 million naira just for accommodation, because you will suffer to get to UK now. I have a lot of my friends, my cousin, my family that I want to bring as well, and I hope that they will get here very soon. So you don't know how painful it is to some of us that you think that because we sit in this Jagbajantis country and then we will be so excited that our own side, continue to be like that. We will destroy everything. I've told you, we will destroy every goddamn thing when that time comes. Because the Boko Haram are destroying, yet Zamfara's governor says, we know them. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So tomorrow, they'll be telling us about the invasion of the Fulani, Nile Yoruba, and what is known as Nigeria, that this British, government and their, empire, the imperialism, and they think that we are going to be stupid. We will be asking for visa. So Okuku better can destroy Nigeria so that nobody needs any visa to come here anymore. So we destroy it, and then we will rebuild again. And I'm agreeing now with Dele Farotimi. I'm going to play his video. So, but what we should prepare for is when we destroy, how do we make sure that these bastard people that have controlled Nigeria do not hijack it? So if you don't take anything out of this broadcast, so as soon as about to destroy Nigeria, right? Ama bombe ni, oma losanaki ni, oma losi chaos ni. Something will hit before something comes up. But before it comes up, go and listen to the 200 years of how the Fulani invasion came into Nigeria. And these are the people that the Zamfara government is telling us, oh, we know them. They are our even we know their mother. When that time comes, then we know, but I want to watch a terrorist. We will take that territory by fire, by force. I can tell you that. Stop me. British cannot stop it. I live with them here. If they like, let them listen. I live with them. We are talking about my territory. It's not their territory. We own it, our land. So tomorrow, if you are privileged to be in Nigeria, in Yoruba land, Nigeria. Most of you will not enjoy your life. So you are better off to let us bring this country down. So, but what we're going to do is tomorrow, they're going to have this beautiful, external security and peace in Yoruba land. But there will not be peace in Yoruba land until we leave Nigeria. So, but let's just go with the team. Because I love when we have intellectual Yoruba people coming together to sit in the round table, but we must prepare for the aftermath of the breakup of this messed up country called Nigeria. Because this generation, we don't go agree. We don't go agree. You can see the election in Edo giving them 10,000 naira. All these bastard politicians, they destroy everybody. So we will destroy them as well. So, and if your uncle is part of them, we will destroy him. If your auntie is part of them, we will destroy every one of you. But before we destroy, that's why British is scared of Yoruba people. One more way, our intellectual is high. and our energy is high. So all this one, they say, hey, you're Babangida says, shut your bastard mouth. It's Babangida mo Yoruba ni. You know, when the Yoruba are ready, we will defend and we will fight and take that territory back. Any maku, any mayeni. You know, do you know how many people the British Empire killed during the slave trade? So if many people die before we get Yoruba nation, it doesn't matter. You know, at least the next generation doesn't have to run to UK and japa here and wants to live here for 24 bloody years and 30 years in America that we can go. So better I can destroy everything so that I don't want the next generation of people looking for visa to get to this messed up country. So that is what we're going to be preparing for. But tomorrow is going to be happening, you know, right at 9 a.m. About 9 a.m. Don't use that African time. Get there, go and listen to the invasion of how Fulani invaded, the Sokoto Caliphate that they destroyed. They are now coming into, and they're even bold to tell us that, oh, don't worry, we know the terrorists, we know them, we know where they are living, we know them, but we cannot do anything. We're going to come back to that. So that is going to be happening tomorrow. It's called the Yoruba National Unity Day, and I can tell you the Koiki Media team has arrived in Ile-Ife, preparing for all the broadcasts, the interview, the email, the pictures, the food, the culture. This is what we should be promoting, as Yoruba people. But when you are inside Nigeria, Olori Buruku governor kan, no, we don't want Isheshe Day, but we can get Christmas Day. Go better for you now. Oh, we don't want Isheshe Day, but we can send people to Hajj. But when we have a Yoruba country with Yoruba constitution, our lama decide in Kontafe, so that you will not be part of Nigeria that will tell you, no, we will not celebrate Isheshe Day, but we will celebrate Allah Akbar. Come bastard. Ni shorire gbogbo yin. Ni shorire. Eyin politicians yin, ogun ma pa gbogbo yin ni. For the sufferness that we are telling you is happening. And that's why Tinubu is scared. Tinubu knows that there will be coup in Nigeria. That is why he cannot travel to United Nations. You can get that from my mouth. Olori Buruku. Let him go to United Nations. Before he comes back, the country will be no longer in his possession. That is why he's sending Osibajo. Most of people want to differ to Tinubu. They have told Tinubu that if you dare travel, it's two things. It's either there will be coup or Tinubu doesn't have a good health. So they have to manage him. Come on, disappointing the United Nations. Even Buhari that we thought was a dead man. The Biafra believe that Buhari is dead. I don't have any evidence, but I know it's either he's dead or he's alive. Throughout the period, Buhari Fishe government, it was going there, whether it is the manicure, whether it's the one that they prepare, it was there. Tinubu is only the second, United Nations General Assembly. He cannot travel. He cannot travel, and that is the one that wants to govern and protect me and you in that messed up country. And you bastard, you come here and be telling me nonsense. Tinubu, till he defend Yare at Yahweh. Do you imagine that? He should be there so that we can be seeing a Yoruba man. I think we will be happy, even if he has not given us anything. Oh no, shit. He doesn't want to go because it's two things. It's either his health is affecting him, and he doesn't want to go and collapse at the United Nations General Assembly. And he knows that Joe Biden is not going to say it. Joe Biden will not have any reason to sit in Tinubu. So we come back to all that. So tomorrow, so attend this event, okay? Don't say, I know that is always, go and listen to reason why, we have been in this mess. How the Fulanis, with their tricks, now they are giving, wife to us. They will give us their son. We see Ganduje. Ganduje, that's a Fulani man. End up, giving, Ajimobi. We saw that Oluwole, they give him wife. So they're now injecting their Fulanization inside us. So within the next 30 or another 300 years, we will be talking about a Fulani king in Yoruba land, and Yoloshi. Anytime you come on this platform and you come and tell me nonsense that could not cost you, I will cost your father. We are worried. Do you think that everybody will be alive in another 150 years? Everybody will be dead person that everybody will remember you, even, if you are not careful. We are talking about the next, people that will be living in Yoruba land. So you want me, when I'm gone, to be thinking that, so kuku beta ka janisi now. So kila one beautiful. Because a Fulani will end up become Ooni of Ife. Lọ́jọ́ iwájú ẹ̀yin olòṣì. bí èèmọ̀ tó ń prepare fún yín òun ni à ń gbọ́ nísìnyí pé even the Aláàfin, the reason why we don't have Aláàfin today is because they want to install a Fulani man there, and when they install a Fulani man as Aláàfin, so what else are we, kí ni reason tá ṣe wá sáyé gan? So tomorrow they will be talking about this, so go there and listen, okay? Don't say kò sí tó kàn mí, because I know a lot of you olóṣì ẹ máa ní kò sí tó kàn mí, so gbogbo ẹ̀ ló kàn wá. So part of negotiation is, even if we don't agree with Gbenga Daniel, we see him there, maybe we can talk to Gbenga Daniel, olórí burúkú ni ẹ wá bí ìgbà kó gbọ́n kan tá à ń sọ lòṣì, owó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ kówó jáde ká lọ sọ fún wọn ní Senate bá a ṣe mọ́, because gbogbo iná máa padà kú náà ni. Gbenga Daniel will die, I will die, everybody will end up dying. So why are we scared? Olóṣì kí ló ń bà yín lẹ́rù bọ́sẹ̀? Ìyá dáadáa ló kú yẹn nísìn, Janet Fashakin, a very beautiful soul, and she will be buried next month as we are celebrating. Because we will be celebrating our life. Our life is not the one way we are not going to celebrate it. So because some of you say, but Koiki, say event in London will go ahead. I told you that this woman wants my spirit to continue to fight, because she is a fighter. She was a warrior when she was alive. So don't tell us that because Janet Fashakin, a beautiful soul, have died, then I should go and be sleeping in. No. This woman wants me to continue the fight for Yoruba people. And that's exactly what she would have done if it's the other way around as well. But everybody's going to die, but we are praying for long life. So in October, while we are celebrating Igboho's birthday and the rally, they will also be celebrating the life of a beautiful mother, a woman, a warrior that fought for many Nigerians to get their papers in America, family issue, problems there and there. If Nigeria was good, she would have been practicing a lawyer in Nigeria. Now they cannot even bring the body back to Nigeria because it's not worth taking the body back to Nigeria. Just bury her in New York and give her, a very last befitting burial. And I appreciate all the organizer, the committee, the family members. She hasn't died, as just like all these bastard, Yoruba politicians that would die. No. She died a good death. So we are grateful for life that she spent. She might be 66. She's far better than Obasanjo that is still alive, that dumb bastard. She's far better than Oshoba. She's far better than all these Olori Buruku that should have died anyway, but they are still alive. Because they are blood sucking. What in meje? So at the time to die, so if you think that you are still seeing Obasanjo, he will die eventually. Another 10 years, Obasanjo will die. Maximum 10 years, he will not even be able to be traveling anywhere. They will just be feeding inside his house. But they can't die because they've done a lot of ritualists. They are ritualist people. So I do believe àwọn elétò New York. So even though this is happening, in the New York, we are 5 hours different, but activities in UK will continue. So nothing has changed. The New York event will go ahead. The activities in London will go ahead as planned, because that is exactly what she would have loved. So if you are one of those that haven't bought your ticket, Igboho is coming to UK. We will have the dinner and then we will take the rally. I've been communicating with the British government, with the police. I've been doing a lot of emails so that they are aware that, and let me tell you, don't come on that day, and try to, bring and stir things up. And tó bá tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ níjọ́ yẹn, ẹ kò accept pé, we are in a good event, because ọlọ́pàá la máa hand over fún. Ó better kó má yọjú. Don't allow politicians to give you, £100 and £200. I will make sure that most send the prison nílùú, must send the prison. I'm telling you. So má wá dábẹ̀rú bí àwọn ṣe Nàìjíríà. Tí Nàìjíríà yẹn àjọ máa dàrú ni, but eléyìí ò lè dàrú torí pé in tó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ la fẹ́ ṣe. We are not doing anything against the law. We are law-abiding citizens. A lot of us have lived in this country. We've contributed. Do you know how much tax I've paid in this country in the 24 years I've lived here? Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tẹ́ fẹ́ ra ticket. Tẹ́ bá ti send the £100 yín, màá send ẹ̀ sí wọn. Ẹ kàn make sure pé pè mí so that kẹ́ share receipt yẹn. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé tó bá yẹ pé through paper tẹ́ máa fi send owó sí mi, màá forward ẹ̀ sí wọn. So, no problem. Mo ti rí message yìí náà. So let us all, be calm. Situation of Nigeria is going down. It is just how fast it goes down is what people don't know. And I love the Elefaro team. I'm going to be telling you a little bit about them, but let me clear my table with some of the activity. So I've told you, Iyawa Janet Fashakin will be buried from the 11th to the Sunday, which is also coincident. Unfortunately, between what we're going to be doing in UK. But nothing is stopping in UK. The whole event of the UK is going ahead as planned. Going ahead as planned. Tomorrow, there's a Yoruba national, the Yoruba National Day, which is happening, as we've told you. Then in November, Amashe Adire Day. So all this is to prepare Yoruba people, because the worst case scenario might happen. Look, I want to before the Biafra, that's when everything will scatter. No, a lot of things can scatter before the day. Look, even Davido was upset with INEC. So I told you, Davido himself is upset yesterday. So anything can happen in Nigeria. A lot of people are just, waiting. Look at the people on Pampani. So you think that because I come on here and talk, look, the way I'm talking is how Davido will be talking in his own little secrecy with his friends. The way I'm talking is what Dele Faro to me. I want to sort of so we are all different human beings. If you're the I feel it do marry to dawa. So yeah, I'm scared of America. Hey, don't talk like that. I'm scared of UK. I'm scared of Germany. No. They should be scared of us because I want on the Romalade. I want to come and beru our because I will not damage 1884, the Berlin Conference, the slave trade. They've messed up our life. They've messed up our life. So the best thing is for them to either de-amalgamate Nigeria or the whole country will come down. And that's why Tinubu is scared. UN. I can't believe it. Just second UN assembly. You don't say, no, Chetima, go and represent Nigeria. Idiot. So let's come into the conversation. So if you're new to the platform, you have never come across, waiting this one they talk. Now the thing where they talk, now here they talk. Now here they talk. So Moki, àwọn ìyàwó mi Moki, mama tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Moki gbogbo ẹ̀yin mama àgbàlagbà, Moki gbogbo pé ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́. And let's kickstart. We've done 42 minutes. Moki Bubua, you've never come across Yoruba Nation campaign, but you have been coming across all your fraudulent politicians because they don't want us to get our message closer to you. But we will try to make sure that our message continues to filter through, even if it is a very tough task. Moki Bubua Koiki Media team, especially when these guys are traveling this. The most important thing I'm scared of is, accidents, because you never know. One of them was traveling overnight, not too late, but she ended up stopping. I'm not going to give you too much location. She was traveling from another state, so she ended up, my grandma, so they're going for burial or whatever. So Nigeria is a place where everybody is scared and things just doesn't go right. So now let us pick it from here. Like I said, if you want to be on the London bus on that day, the red route, I got on money so that I cost because it's only a passenger of 72 at the overload. So in Toba, for Kosile, I just pay Taye Bawa, a wale, Taye Obasi, and Ile Wale. So I so all these are voluntary, but if you want to support these, please do let us know because we need a lot of support, and support means that it will help enhance and do things right. Look, £100 for the ticket for CSI is not too much. At least you have the privilege to be in the same room with him, in a nice environment. It's a Hilton London Kensington. A lot of people are traveling from different part of the country, in UK, in Wales, Manchester, Scotland, but you would have to pay for this particular event, which is not free because, it's a dinner. You are going to be eating something. You are eating. Put on whatever you feel comfortable to wear. If you like, you can wear agbada, you can wear asha. Okay. The weather should not be too bad. But if you're not driving, the good part is, Uber is working. You can get Uber to that place. You can take Uber out. It's the closest tube station is Shepherd's Bush. It's not right deep into Oxford Circles like the Rally. So this is like, just 5 minutes into Mount Shepherd's Bush. So it's within that axis. There's free parking. Like I said, I would have time, even if I have to squeeze myself, to go and give you a bit of the surrounding. But as usual, everybody knows when you're going to party, we pay for parking even sometimes. So even if you have to pay for, a bit of, parking, it shouldn't be a problem, for saying that is not the reason why I'm not going to come. So, but like I said, it's going to be a fantastic evening. But the most important one that we want everybody to attend is the rally. We want everybody to attend, to come and appreciate who we are as Yoruba people that has contributed, so much into this, economy, because we have also contributed a lot into the British economy. We are working, we are paying tax, we are law abiding, and we continue to respect, the laws of this country. So, that is also going to be happening as well. So that is on all that, and I pray that the day will come successfully. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ prayer warriors, your job is you know how to pray. Ẹ bá máa fi gbogbo ọjọ́ yẹn sínú àdúrà pé kí Ọlọ́run kó jọ nínú ọlá ẹ̀ kó jẹ́ kí ọjọ́ yẹn kó wá ní ti dáadáa. So let us also continue to pray for that beautiful day. A lot of things are, we are in the last couple of, we're not even up to 20 days before the event. So there's a lot of activity that is still going into the last minute. The brochure, and Endobate brochure, it would be nice if we can do one from the Koiki Media platform as well, just to say thank you so much, IGBOHO. So if I have, 10 people to contribute £10, we can write something. I can ask one of our, I won't be the one to write it. We just say on behalf of all the Koiki Media followers, Koiki Media family, we say thank you so much, IGBOHO. What do you think? And we can just put that in the brochure, but we need to get that done as quickly as possible. So we can take a full page, or we can take a half page, which is £50. So if anybody think you love that suggestion, let me know. Even if there's, because people always have this impression that when we say we need £100, yes, £200 can come, but that can also be diverted to use for something else. So even if we have extra, we will always use it for, something meaningful, especially on this kind of a platform where a lot of you trust and have a full loyalty to the platform. So the Bafi is something we can do. We will just say, we won't be putting everybody's name. There will be too many of us. We just say on behalf of all the Koiki Media, followers or friends, and I can ask 2 or 3 people just to write things together, and then I will submit it to the committee, because they need to print that brochure. This week is a very decisive week. So I'm going to be in a meeting with the committee tomorrow. We're putting the final touch. If you are very busy, I got a call for somebody, say, look, you join Uloma drive and one event, but he will be putting his own contribution. If you are busy, you are busy. There's nothing we can do. But I don't think everybody should be busy. There must be some of us that will have, the privilege to attend these days. So we expect many of us, to come for that day. So if you are not familiar with London, you are just fortunate to be passing by, please, why not stop over? I know somebody is coming from Canada, they're only going to be here for holiday, but who are lucky that it's also going to be the time that we are having this event. So I'm looking forward to those family, like a family friend. So they will be in London from Canada. If you don't have a passport that can enter UK, you will need a visa. Even if you are living in Europe, because many of us live in European countries or UK, all we have is their resident permit, but we don't have, the British passport or the German passport. So that is also, for us to take note. So if you're coming, please check everything that you need to check, so that you won't end up getting to the airport while there's often and so please make sure you do all your diligent work. If you're living in UK, you don't have any problem. All you need to do is just, get on the train or the bus, and you will find yourself in the country, in the area. So that is on that. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà. Mo kí bàbá wa Olóyè Ìgbòho for the love he has for his people. Like I told you, Gani Adams Iba was in London, and I can tell you that he was in London and he's still in London as I speak to you because he was at an event yesterday that I'm aware of. So, they want us to continue to talk about Boko Haram. But before I come to the Boko Haram issue, I want us to listen to, are we preparing for the eventuality of the breakup of Nigeria? Are we preparing enough? Or are we all just waiting on the waiting game? The quicker that we do it, the better for us. But before we play that video, I'm going to first take us back to another history. How Malaysia became an independent country. A lot of people might expect that Mokia Arole Baba Tenten, brother mi Mokia Ekushesa. Ká sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí Malaysia àti Singapore. Cherry Britain, they've done a lot of damage. And they are avoiding to rectify the damage. So better ká bá wọn damage yìí tó kù. What it damaged so much. So what we need to do is to damage the rest of Nigeria on their behalf. Britain has done so much damage in the world in terms of during the empire era. And if we don't activate and do what needs to be done. I got a call from somebody from a European country. And they wanted me to deliver it to Simon Ekpa. So I sent a message to him. A lot of people knows I have a great connection with the Biafra government in exile and the facto government. And like I always say, Muke must be a Kushano. And we look forward to the next one when IGBOHO will be live again on the TikTok. Masby was working tirelessly yesterday. 40 people were giving 5,000 naira each. So, ẹ lọ join bá ń forúkọ ìyàwó olóyè tó máa lọ darapọ̀ mọ́ lórí TikTok. Wọ́n máa fún yín lówó tó pọ̀ díẹ̀ o for the birthday. And like I said, kò gbẹnu ọmọ Yorùbá kó máa sọ pé olóyè fẹ́ wá ṣe birthday ní London. Tẹ́yìn bá tó bẹ̀, ẹ jáde náà. You know you can do better than IGBOHO. You can go out there and do it. Púpọ̀ nu yín kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ń wò wá báyìí nísìn ẹ̀kọ́ lẹ́pọ̀n nídìí ni. Ẹ̀yin màmá wa mú tẹ̀ ní láti bring ẹ̀yin into the conversation. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọkùnrin tó ń wò mí báyìí nísìn ọ̀lẹ ni gbogbo wọn. But wọ́n ọ̀lẹ ni wá, including myself. But IGBOHO jẹ́ ẹni tó yẹ pé ayé ẹ kí gan. Ìjọba dẹ̀ mọ̀. Àwọn ọba mọ̀, àwọn olóṣèlú, àwọn yẹn kéré sí nọ́mbà yẹn. So what we need to do is ká wá shield it so that tọ́ba tẹ̀ fẹ́ gbé, tọ́ba tẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kan fún ká máa dúró èmi ṣe ń fi mídíà mi jà báyìí nísìn because wọ́n mọ̀ pé bí ṣe ń fi mídíà yẹn jà mo fi ń support Yorùbá nation mo dẹ̀ fi ń guide IGBOHO. Because mo ti sọ fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀ ká ṣe bí ọ̀dẹ̀ táwọn kan ní kinní kan there is always a time for something. Àwọn lílẹ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kẹ́ rí wa mú ní rí mi mú ní rí IGBOHO mú ní rí gbogbo àwọn tá à ń ṣe nǹkan ní rí wa mú lágbára Ọlọ́run gbìyànjú ní rí wa mú máa try but ní rí wa mú. So, ẹ máa gbìyànjú wọ́n ìnírí wa mú. So what we need to do òun ni pé we should be the foot soldier for IGBOHO. and I am the number one out of all the Yorubas in the world. Tọ́ba náà tó dúró pé tó bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀ fún Tolóyè Ìgbòho, èmi ni number one. But ìbẹ̀rù tí àwọn tó kù ní òun ni kò jẹ́ kó lè gbé fèsì síta. Because you will lose something if you're doing this kind of fight. You must, and you're losing nǹkan now. How many of you want to lose your house in Nigeria? How many of you that are travel to Nigeria quietly and come back out? Yes, Igboho wà ní Benin right now as I speak to you. It's currently in Africa. Òun ò lè pagiri wọnú sókà. Ó jẹ́ pé kò lè lọ. But there is time for everything. So what we can do is to guide him and be there for him. Because he has already proven himself that he is there for us. And that's him there, right behind me. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho is not a criminal. He's a freedom fighter. And everybody knows that. But ẹ̀yin nísìnyí ò fẹ́ lose nǹkan kan. Igboho ti lose. Ó dẹ̀ ti gbà fọ́lọ́run. Pé bí ìrìn àjò yẹn ṣe máa rí nìyẹn. Do you know what it means for them to have killed those two beautiful souls nínú ilé ẹ̀? Ó bá pa jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tó bá tún ṣe pé lè dìkẹ́ tó gbóhùn sókè. So sometimes when people are saying, àrólé mo kí ẹ, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ láíláí, brother mi, mo mọ oríṣi tẹ́lẹ̀ ìgbé comment ọmọ ṣe rí comment ẹ níbí báyìí. Bọ́ fẹ́ bọ́wọ́pọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá máa dá dúró. Ìjà dẹ̀ la máa fi parí ẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn àrólé lè máa sọ, gbogbo wọn lè máa sọ. Èmi sọ fún yín pé ìjà gidi. Bọ̀ kó tó débi ìjà yẹn, òun ni pé ká kọ́kọ́ prepare ẹ̀mí ìwọ, ẹ̀mí èmi fún nǹkan tó ń bọ̀. Tó a ti wà nù problem. A ti wà nù ewu gidi. But most of you don't want to sacrifice. If they sacrifice bí Ìgbòho, then what we can do is we just have to shield around him. So that wọ́n bá ti shield ẹ̀, ó máa difficult fún ìjọba. And that is why we must prepare. As Dele Farotimi said in his broadcast this morning that I've watched. Nigeria ti wà ní the final stage. But ǹjẹ́, you okay? Yeah. Ǹjẹ́ à ń múra sílẹ̀? Ǹjẹ́ à ń múra sílẹ̀ tí collapse yẹn tó bá dé? Tí collapse tá à ń retí yẹn bá dé nísinsìnyí, ǹjẹ́ à ti múra sílẹ̀? You don't want ice cream again. You want chocolate? Okay, my boy. Ǹjẹ́ à múra sílẹ̀? Because the collapse is going to happen. The collapse of Nigeria will happen. But ǹjẹ́ à ń gbáradì sílẹ̀ fún? Ǹjẹ́ à ń gbáradì sílẹ̀ fún? And that is what and reason why ta gbọ́dọ̀ support Baba Akintoye. Ta gbọ́dọ̀ support the organization. Ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá pọ̀ káàkiri nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. But kò ń ṣe gbogbo ló ń jà fún self-determination. Ibi tí àwa ti yàtọ̀ nìyẹn. For self-determination làwa dúró lé lórí. And there's nothing bad asking for self-determination. So, mo kí wa pé happy Sunday. Bí ẹ ṣe ń wọlé ní méjì mẹ́ta, ẹ bá wa máa pín ètò yẹn. Ẹ bá wa love it, like it. Àdẹ̀ ní ṣe lásán. Torí àdúrà ẹlòmíì nìyẹn pé kò ní bọ́ sí. Èmi ọmọ tọ́mọ Yorùbá máa sọ pé kò ní bọ́ sí. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. Ọba tó lọ́jọ́ ìní á wo làálàá kókó gbogbo wa jọ̀ǹjọ̀ wa pé kí ìran wa yìí tá à ń jà fún kí ìran yìí kó má di èyí tó máa dìtàn torí àwọn ò fẹ́ kó dìtàn la ṣe ń ṣe wàhálà yìí a fẹ́ kí ìran wa di ìtàn la ṣe ń ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wàhálà tá à ń ṣe yìí a fẹ́ kí ìran wa kó lọ sí ìtàn. So, and we will make sure that the fight continues. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn fẹ́ kí ìran Yorùbá kó ní say in the global world. Wọ́n fẹ́ ká máa fi Nàìjíríà fi ṣe àtẹ̀gùn. And that is what makes Baba Akintoye different from them. But Baba Akintoye mọ̀ pé a lè continue ká máa lo Nàìjíríà because Nigeria is not going to give us exactly our demands. Kò sí ọ̀nà tá lè gbà, kò sí bá ṣe lè fẹ́ tó, a lè tún tò nínú Nàìjíríà mọ́. Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ tún tò mọ́ nínú Nàìjíríà because what it compromise láti the foundation of it. Kódà I'm sure pé àwọn English gan máa wonder pé why ta fi jẹ́ kó pẹ́ tó yìí ká tó náà fi pull out. Ẹ gbọ́ mi, àwọn òyìnbó wọ́n á máa béèrè lọ́pọ̀ ara wọn pé báwo lè ṣe jẹ́ kó pẹ́ tó yìí kó tó di pé ẹ̀ ń béèrè fún right yìí because right yín ni ẹ̀tọ́ yín ni but kí ló dé tẹ́ ṣe jẹ́ kó pẹ́ tó yìí ṣé torí pé àwa kan wà lábroad àwa ń pull ara wa díẹ̀díẹ̀ bóyá mo á ń tiẹ̀ wá mo ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ wá ẹni tó bá lè mú wá sí bíbà ó yá bí a kò try America tó bá America bá lọ ó yá try Canada gbogbo yẹn wá lọ ó yẹ ò ṣe try Turkey náà lọ ó dá try Cyprus ó yá lọ Africa country kan because tó bá jẹ́ pé gbogbo wa ti gbìyànjú pé a fẹ́ pull out kúrò ní Nàìjíríà láti tètè gbọ́ àgbọ́yé ẹ̀ dáadáa ni the end of Nigeria would have happened nígbà táwọn George Akínọlá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi nígbà tó ń pariwo ní 2017 pé country yóò ń ṣe country tá a ṣe máa sọ pé a fẹ́ tún ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ mọ́ but nígbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ ká gbọ́ àgbọ́yé yẹn dáadáa ní adámásìgbà làwọn ti pariwo sígbà ẹ̀ pé Nàìjíríà ò ṣe restructure ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ má ṣe wà láyè èmi àti wọ́n sì sọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn tíìmù wa wọ́n lọ sí Ilé-Ifẹ̀ because it's part of the organizer ìyẹn George Akínọlá bí ẹ̀rántí nǹkan tó sọ mọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ nígbà yẹn.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Oodua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of.
That video tẹ́ ń gbọ́ yìí 2017. So imagine tó bá jẹ́ pé ariwo Yorùbá nation yẹn jáde ní powerful bó ṣe lọ báyìí nísìn that end of Nigeria máa ti ṣẹlẹ̀ kò ní ní sínú ẹ̀mọ́ nísìn. Ṣé wàá mọ̀ pé South Korea tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ lénìí South Korea yẹn ó wà lára ìta máa sọ àbí èyí tó súnmọ́ tó tún jẹ́ Singapore. But gbogbo akọ̀ assume pé well tó bá work ẹni tó bá lè sá lọ check out ẹni tó bá lè check out. But kí làwọn rí nígbà yẹn tó fi sọ pé this country cannot work. It is so ní 2017 làwọn sọ ilé ìyàn kan ṣe wá ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ restructure ọ̀rọ̀ regional wọ́n ṣe wá ń gbé wá fún wa ní 2024 kẹ́rí pórí wọn pé. The bomb bastard orí wọn pé à ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ká gba self-independent autonomous our sovereignty ká dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè kọ́ mọ̀ wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè a sì fẹ́ jẹ́ kọ́ máa mọ̀ wá bí Nàìjíríà ká sì wá wà nínú Nàìjíríà ká wá restructure ẹ̀ ṣe àwa lè restructure kankan nínú Nàìjíríà lẹ́yìn kí lẹ lè restructure nínú Nàìjíríà kí ni nǹkan tí a lè fẹ́ restructure nínú Nàìjíríà níbi tí Nàìjíríà dé nísìn. But ọ̀rọ̀ ìyẹn kọ́ ló kàn nísìn ọ̀rọ̀ what plan la gbọ́dọ̀ prepare fún nígbà tí àsìkò gbogbo ẹ̀ bá collapse because That is the most crucial part. So we need that, intelligence between àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe ètò yẹn láti fi ràn lọ́wọ́. And we have to prepare that. A lot of us will lose something to gain something. They lose in kankan ẹ̀dẹ̀ fẹ́ bá Yorùbá nation kò possible. Ìrọ́lá ń pa. A gbọ́dọ̀ prepare pé a máa lose in kankan, a fẹ́ fi gain nǹkan tó máa tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn lẹ́ni àti lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la. Torí pé àwọn ọmọ wa kọ̀ọ̀kan wà labroad, wọn ò ní any reason láti lọ sílé. Mo kí àwa Fúnkẹ́ Yàlájé. Ẹ má ní mò ń ṣe orúkọ pé àwọn mídíà wa ni gbogbo ẹni tó kù náà ni mo rí. Àpọ̀ kíyà mi fún Ifágbémilékè gbogbo ni mo rí, mo ti wọnú ètò. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣeré là ń ṣe ní bíbá. Especially tí bá ti wọ aṣọ ogun yìí. Anytime tí bá ti múra báyìí, kò ń ṣeré mo bá wá sórí program. Torí tó ń dùn wá lọ́kàn là ń sọ. So nígbà táwọn ilé ń pariwo ní 2017, ẹ jẹ́ ká wá calculate 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7 years ago ni àwọn tí ń pariwo pé there is nothing called restructure. Kò sí kankan tẹ́ fẹ́ restructure nínú Nàìjíríà. Àwọn kan tó wá ṣe gbé restructure jáde. Àwọn kan tó wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ regional government. Ṣe rí pé àwọn ìyẹn gangan ni wọ́n fẹ́ kó bá wa. Ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká kúkú já gbogbo ẹ̀ wálẹ̀. Tá bá já gbogbo ẹ̀ wálẹ̀, a lọ reset button. But ká tó lọ reset button yẹn, a gbọ́dọ̀ prepare mind wa pé kó má jẹ́ pé àwọn olórí burúkú tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń concern pé Koiki tẹ́ bá lọ da gbogbo ẹ̀rú, ǹjẹ́ tẹ̀ ti múra sílẹ̀ fáwọn olòṣì, àwọn Gbénga Daniel máa wà ní program yẹn lọ́la, ìyẹn ni kí n má ṣe pé fún. It's a bomb bastard, kò sí tó kàn mí. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí wọ́n wá hijack ẹ̀ mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́, ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ prepare. Ìyẹn mo sọ pé we need 60,000 Yoruba men and women tó dúró dáadáa. 60,000. But ta ló lè fún yín ní 60,000 yẹn lábẹ́ bàbá wa ìyẹn emeritus Professor Adebanji Akintoye ìyẹn lọ́mọ wọn Ìgbòho Òòṣà. Ìbà Gani Adams ò lè fún yín ní 60,000 men tó máa jà fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ó wà ní UK bí ṣe bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Tọ́jà pé mo parọ́ mọ́ because mo mọ tí Prophet Tibetan sọ fún Ìbà Gani Adams lórí ìjókòó nígbà tí wọ́n wá fún wọn ní reception náà ni ìyẹn the late October Dapo Williams. Because some event like that, no recording, straight talk. Àwọn ìtẹ́bẹ̀ẹ́kẹ́ gbọ́ lẹ máa gbọ́, èmi wà nínú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò ń ṣe kán sọ fún mi. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn pé ta ló lè fún wa ní that energy? Ìgbòho ló lè fún wa lẹ́nájì yẹn. Ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ló lè fún wa. But ó ń lose nǹkankan pé káwa lè gain, àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ fẹ́ lose, adẹ̀ fẹ́ gain, báwo ló ṣe máa possible? Báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ possible? Gbogbo wa pátápátá la máa prepare pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá country ta fẹ́ gbà yìí a máa fẹ́ lose nǹkankan tó máa dùn wá, but a fẹ́ fi lọ gain nǹkankan lọ fún ìran wa àti ìran tó ń bọ̀. So we must have that at the back of our heart. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ wà nígbà àyàwó báyìí. And the engagement is going on. A lot of engagement ń lọ nísàlẹ̀, especially pẹ̀lú àwọn ọba wa, because they are still powerful. Kò ń ṣe àwọn tó ti wà corrupt láàrin wọn. They are still powerful, they still have the voice. Ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ lánàá pé ọba tó bá sọ pé nígbà tá a bá fẹ́ make a declaration tó sọ jágbàjàgbà pé kò ní possible, gbogbo palace yẹn máa wálẹ̀ ni. Mo ti sọ lánàá. Palace yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ wálẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Palace yẹn a máa rebuild ní ìbọn, palace yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ wá sísàlẹ̀. Torí kò ní right láti sọ fún ọmọ Yorùbá pé a fẹ́ kúrò ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, a fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, kọ́ bá kọ́ wá wà disagreement pẹ̀lú wa. But that is the reason why we must engage them now. Torí pé a ní gbọ́ lásìkò kan bá tó. Kí lẹ rò pé àwọn ọmọ Zamfara kan ń ṣe Boko Haram tí gómìnà náà mọ̀ wọ́n ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ṣe kankan. Wọ́n dẹ̀ oppress everybody nínú Nàìjíríà. Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ tí oppress. Torí pé a ṣì ń gbé bígbà tẹ́ pé àmọ́ tẹ́ ẹ ká ṣe. Bọ́ àmọ́ tẹ́ ẹ ká ṣe. Ẹ rò pé gbogbo àmọ́ tẹ́ ẹ ká ṣe. Ìgbòho mọ́ tẹ́ ẹ kó ṣe. Bàbá Akíntóyè mọ́ tẹ́ ẹ ká ṣe. àwọn tó ń lead wa mọ tó yẹ ká ṣe wọ́n dẹ̀ ti sọ fún wa pé a gbọ́dọ̀ inject crisis nínú Nàìjíríà ó lè má wá jẹ́ crisis tiwa nìkan because crisis pọ̀ tó ń lọ nínú Nàìjíríà ẹdún electronics ó lè fa sùúrùtù kó jẹ́ kí bọ́ǹbù yẹn kó explode àbí gas yẹn so a lot of stakeholders in Nigeria ibì kan dẹ̀ ló ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó bá dẹ̀ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ níbì kan káwa náà káyà ṣe kí ni ká gbé because ibì kan ló ti máa gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà yìí pé pínpín yẹn ó lè má jẹ́ àwa Yorùbá nation gangan ó lè jẹ́ àwọn mo máa ń sọ pé tí mo táwọn ẹ jẹ́ lọ ṣe hot chocolate fọmọ ẹ̀ mo ti fẹ́ gbàgbéra ẹ jẹ́ lọ ṣe hot chocolate fọmọ mi náà mo ń padà bọ̀.
China even. We had television before. Impediment to Yoruba development. It's the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
And that's exactly what it is. Àjọṣepọ̀ wa àti Nàìjíríà ti pín ó ti end. But látara pé àwọn kan fẹ́ máa fi Nàìjíríà jẹun bíi Tinubu àtàwọn ẹ̀mẹ̀wẹ̀ ìyẹn ló ṣe ní ká keep Nàìjíríà. Because our relationship pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà even gan Britain gan wonder pé ṣé ọ̀dẹ̀ lẹ́yìn Yorùbá yìí ni ṣé ọ̀dẹ̀ níyìn ni tábàtẹ̀ pín yín papọ̀ tápọ̀ yín papọ̀ ṣé kò jẹ́ kẹ́yìn ti mú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa jáde kúrò nínú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni I'm sure they are gonna be laughing at us. Ẹ kò máa wọ pé àwọn eléyìí ṣe wá dàbí òmùgọ̀ báyìí. I'm sure pé àwọn tó jẹ́ àwọn bàbá tí wọ́n máa ronú bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n máa wò wá. Because they are wondering why we are still in Nigeria. Òyìnbó ń wonder pé kí ló dé ta English ń wonder pé why are we still in Nigeria? Kí ni purpose la wà Nigeria fún? Ká lè gba visa wá sí UK. Ẹ gbọ́ lẹ́ǹkan sí, mo ń bọ̀.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1960, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
It's almost ready. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan ṣe má bínú mic mi wà on so it will have feed a lot back into the broadcast. Listen to this again, Mumbo.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How would the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence network.
This man was telling us that, look, Yoruba people, Omugoniwani, Igbo, Hausa, and all the others, are we all stupid? So one people go. So káwa wa máa fund the lifestyle tí wọ́n. So wọ́n post nǹkan kan tẹ́ bá rí ọmọ mo ń bọ̀ ẹ máa gbélé lọ́nà kí n lọ prepare yẹn sílẹ̀. I'm very tí bá nínú inú òbí mi lójoojúmọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ nísìn but èmi mọ̀ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ inject the crisis but ó lè má já wa gangan la máa prepare crisis yẹn. Crisis will come from anywhere. Tiwa ni pé any slightest opportunity ká kick in. That's all. Any slightest opportunity lẹ́yìn ìgbà tá a bá ti parí gbogbo ayẹyẹ tá a fẹ́ ṣe, any slightest opportunity because eléyìí tá a fẹ́ ṣe nísìn a fẹ́ fi prepare Britain. But look, ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ ẹ tètè pé Bọ́lá Tinubu ká yanjú ẹ̀. Ó wà lára tí Délé Fárótìmí sọ. Mo mọ̀ bí a brother mi ICTV ti lọ gbọ́ program Délé Fárótìmí 34 minutes. Màá play fún wa. Mo kàn mọ àárín ibi tó ti sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ni bọ̀ máa wá jáde. Ó ní tá bá máa pín ẹ̀ sí jẹ́ ká kúkú pín kó má dìtàjẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Bí Tinubu fẹ́ yẹ kó dìtàjẹ̀ sílẹ̀ ni kò ní jẹ́ kó dìtàjẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Tí Nàìjíríà bá exist before 2027 pẹ̀lú bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí díẹ̀ ló máa kù. Tó bá exist before 2027 because a lot of people kan ṣáwa Yorùbá nìkan là ń bítà àwọn èèyàn bítà gan wọ́n kàn gbé sábẹ́ lé ni wọ́n kàn anybody kàn dúró the opportunity nísìnyí. But ìyẹn mo sọ pé àwa kan máa prepare pa máa lose nǹkankan láti because o lè fẹ́ kúrò nínú country kò fi sọ pé o ní lose nǹkankan. We must prepare for that. Àyà wa tó ń jà yẹn a gbọ́dọ̀ mú ẹ̀mí wa kó le koko bí kó le gan kó le ju ti gbowó gan lọ kí gbowó gan máa wò pé yes àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ti ready tó ń ṣe ti Ìbà Gani Adams ọmọ apá ìtì ready. Torí Ìgbòho mọ̀ pa ti ṣe tán ó mọ̀ pé tó bá fi ohùn sílẹ̀ nísìn àwọn èèyàn máa jáde. Ìjọba dẹ̀ mọ̀ yẹn but ìjọba náà máa attack yín padà kò sí anywhere lágbàáyé ẹ má rò pé torí Tinubu ló wà níbẹ̀ tá a bá make any move nísìn Tinubu máa ní kí sójà jáde fún wa. Gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ olórí burúkú èèyàn ni. Ẹ bá jáde nísìn pé ẹ fẹ́ dàlúrú ẹ fẹ́ ṣe kíníkan Tinubu gan máa ní kí sójà jáde ǹjẹ́ tó bá ní kí sójà jáde ǹjẹ́ gbogbo a lè kojú sójà ká sọ pé ànígbà. Ìyẹn ló fi máa mọ̀ pé yes a fẹ́ lọ. Bọ̀ nígbà tá a bá ní ó ti tó àsìkò yá ìgbà làwọn kan tún máa bẹ̀bẹ̀ pé no ẹ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Màláfíà dẹ̀ ń sọ fún wa pé àwọn ní intelligent pé àwọn the defence minister òun gangan ni olórí àwọn Boko Haram àti vice president. So ẹ wá ń gbé gbogbo àwa Yorùbá ní mugun àwa wà labroad a máa send owó sílé àwa máa tọ́jú àwọn kan nínú ilé ó bẹ́ẹ̀ ká dá gbogbo ẹ̀rú kẹ́nì kankan má gbádùn ìlú yẹn mọ́. Olórí burúkú ni wọn owó tẹ kọ́ fi tọ́jú yín wọ́n fi tọ́jú yín wọ́n wá ń gbé gbogbo anímúgùn ẹ̀yáwó lọ́wọ́ IMF ẹ mọye gbèsè tí Nàìjíríà jẹ nísìn so àwa kan darúgbó sínú Nàìjíríà táwa kan bá tẹ wà láàbúrò tá a bá darúgbó sí bíbà. So this is not the time to joke. We are in the last lap of that country and we must be prepared. Mo sọ fún yín pé àwa 5% la máa wá láti diaspora gbogbo 95 tó kù ìgbà àwọn sì máa wà níbẹ̀ 5% pé ló máa jáde láti diaspora tó máa padà wálé sígbà ìwà dédé. Ẹ mọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Ukraine tó lọ ṣe bá àwọn ọmọ Nigerians náà fẹ́ lọ́jà ní Ukraine kí ló dé tó fẹ́ lọ́jà.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. 1 or 2 who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunition.
Let's just move away from there. Now, let's come back again quickly. Lórí ètò ìkànnì Koiki Media láṣẹ wà. Lórí ìkànnì Koiki Media. Ẹ gbọ́ lè share button. Ẹ bá pín ètò náà. So káwọn èèyàn wá máa sọ́fà nílé. Àbí? Má bínú sí mi o. Mo fẹ́ gbé wa lọ sí background lẹ́yìn. I'm going to mute my mic. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram. Wọ́n fi máa ṣe wàhálà because of the way the setup is. I don't know. Sometimes the laptop to can be CB by mo go CB by. So if not, ẹ bá máa rí screen. So ẹ má bínú sí mi. But if you want to see the screen, you want to see what is happening, I appreciate everyone that is live on the Mixer Lab, the Twitter space. Good evening. It's a Sunday. I will appreciate you more. But for now, we are already inside it. Benny, wàhálà yẹn tẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù. Wàhálà yẹn ti pọ̀ jù. Àtẹ̀lé káàlì. Ẹ wo ilé ẹ bínú ẹ fẹ́ là nǹkan mọ́ rí nísìn. Ẹ ṣáà má fọ́ TV. Fídíò tí mo fẹ́ play, Ṣòwòrẹ́ ló post ẹ̀. Let me first give you the write-up before I mute my mic. This is how the olórí burúkú àwọn tó ń fi Nàìjíríà tó ń fi milk wa. How Buhari Attorney General Abubakar Malami looted Nigerian treasury with his children. Gbogbo fídíò tẹ́ fẹ́ wò nísìn is 2 minutes 35 seconds. This is how they have enriched themselves with Nigerian wealth. Ìwọ wá ń sọ pé ká má jà. Oní ká má dàlúrú ká má ṣe no dàlúrú crisis ni òyìnbó ń ṣe kán dàlúrú a máa inject crisis wọnú Nàìjíríà tó dẹ̀ máa pull up Yorùbá people out tó bá ti gbà pé ká ṣe in a diplomatic and a diplomacy way. Let's watch this. These are the children ọmọ ẹ̀ méjì àwọn wá make it life very difficult for the rest of us. Let's watch the video.
Abdulaziz Abubakar Malami. He is the Group Managing Director of Rayhan Group, a Nigerian conglomerate with interest in hospitality, communications, agriculture, education, security, real estate, and rice milling. Rayhan Group is one of the largest private companies in Nigeria, a wholly family-owned conglomerate, making its mark in the Nigerian market through its various subsidiaries with over 2,000 staff. One of its flagship subsidiaries, Asbir Hotels, is located at Sani Abacha Expressway, Benin Kebbi, and tagged as one of the best hotels in the state. The hotel hosts the famous Asbir Arena alongside other key attractions like Asbir Gallery, Asbir Supermarket, and Asbir Clothings, which cater to a wide range of fashion needs. The facility also boasts amenities such as a football field, the spectator stand, and a dedicated kids playground, providing a range of amenities for visitors. Asbir is the combination of the name of two brothers, Abdulaziz AZ, the Group Managing Director, and first three letters of the Deputy Managing Director, Abiru Rahman, BIR, reflecting its roots as a family-owned conglomerate. Another hospitality subsidiary of the company is the Zenur Hotel in Kano, providing a state-of-the-art accommodation. There is also the Rayhan Hotels, a high-end lodging facility in the heart of Kano. In the educational sector, the group owns Rayhan Model Academy in Benin Kebbi and Rayhan University, one of the newly licensed private universities in Nigeria, with 15 takeoff academic programs approved by the NUC in December 2023. The group also owns Rayhan Rice Milling Plant, located in Kebbi State, one of the largest rice milling plants in the country, with production capacity of 5 tons per hour, equaling about 25,000 bags per day, with the capacity currently being upgraded for an additional 5 tons per hour. The plant is the first Beulah Uniline rice mill integrated machine in Africa. Its Rayhan Alert Security Services is one of the largest security outfits in the country, providing industrial and commercial businesses security services, financial institution and educational institution security services, as well as access movement and escort guard services across the country. He's 29 years old, managing one of Nigeria's largest private companies. His total managing assets make him the third youngest Nigerian managing Nigeria's largest private companies.
So we are literally funding them. We are funding their 29 years old. Lomoye. You want me to play it again? Check out Bola and Konsi Kole Yeyin Dada. They can play Len Konsi.
Abdulaziz Abubakar Malami. He is the Group Managing Director of Rayhan Group, a Nigerian conglomerate with interest in hospitality, communications, agriculture, education, security, real estate, and rice milling. Rayhan Group is one of the largest private companies in Nigeria, a wholly family-owned conglomerate, making its mark in the Nigerian market through its various subsidiaries with over 2,000 staff. One of its flagship subsidiaries, Asbir Hotels, is located at Sani Abacha Expressway, Benin Kebbi, and tagged as one of the best hotels in the state. The hotel hosts the famous Asbir Arena alongside other key attractions like Asbir Gallery, Asbir Supermarket, and Asbir Clothings, which cater to a wide range of fashion needs. The facility also boasts amenities such as a football field, the spectator stand, and a dedicated kids playground, providing a range of amenities for visitors. Asbir is the combination of the name of two brothers, Abdulaziz AZ, the Group Managing Director, and first three letters of the Deputy Managing Director, Abiru Rahman, BIR, reflecting its roots as a family-owned conglomerate. Another hospitality subsidiary of the company is the Zenur Hotel in Kano, providing a state-of-the-art accommodation. There is also the Rayhan Hotels, a high-end lodging facility in the heart of Kano. In the educational sector, the group owns Rayhan Model Academy in Benin Kebbi and Rayhan University, one of the newly licensed private universities in Nigeria, with 15 takeoff academic programs approved by the NUC in December 2023. The group also owns Rayhan Rice Milling Plant, located in Kebbi State, one of the largest rice milling plants in the country, with production capacity of 5 tons per hour, equaling about 25,000 bags per day, with the capacity currently being upgraded for an additional 5 tons per hour. The plant is the first Beulah Uniline rice mill integrated machine in Africa. Its Rayhan Alert Security Services is one of the largest security outfits in the country, providing industrial and commercial businesses security services, financial institutions, providing industrial
and these are just under 29, 30 years old. You can see why trying to save this country is a waste of time. Cherikwe, trying to have sentiment in Nigeria from any point of your view, whether anything you can think of, is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Ọlọ́run ti kó wa yọ, àwa ni ká get the hell out of that country now. You can see why the Northerners doesn't want Nigeria to break. Ọmọ Malami làwọn tẹ́mọ̀ fún wọ̀nyí o, the former Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, ẹlẹ́márùn tí ojú ẹ̀ mọ̀, Malami Abubakar Malami, that's him there. Abubakar Malami, CONSAN, is a Nigerian lawyer and a politician who served as the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation from 2015 to 2023. He was born in 1967, 7 years after the Nigerian fraudulent independence. And look at the way the children have become very powerful in 8 years. Ẹ wo báwọn ọmọ ẹ ṣe di very powerful. This is one of the sons. Minister of Justice son got married. I'm sure this is one of them. Lára àwọn ọmọ yẹn lélẹ̀. Lára àwọn ọmọ yẹn lélẹ̀. Because if you look at the video at the beginning, I think the face was clear somewhere. Huh? So I want to sweat wa, I feel support enough. We are using our sweat to support them for their own lifestyle. Did you hear what they said there? That they have the largest private security network in the whole of Nigeria. the largest private security firm. Àwọn tó máa ń set up security firm. The largest. Oh, sure. Let's come out of that and watch this. Let's watch Malaysia, Singapore. What really happened? Kó tó di pé Singapore di Singapore lẹ́nu. I'll mute my mic. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ìyá mi Fagbemileke. We are suffering to support àwọn ọmọ àlè tó wà ní North. Àwọn wà lábroad. Àbí à ń fagbò. Àjí láàárọ̀ gbúrúgbúrú bá ti lọ 12 hours, 13 hours. Àwọn tó wà Nàìjíríà ò rí nǹkan kan ṣe. Ọmọ Màlámí dẹ̀ set up gbogbo nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Àwọn méjì. So báwọn ṣe ń ṣe tiwọn, Ṣèyí Tinubu náà ṣe tiẹ̀ ní South West. Àmọ́ tó ń ṣe tiwọn ní ilẹ̀ Ìgbò. Mo kí egbò ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ìjókòó. Mo kí ẹ Ṣẹ́gun Honorable. Mo kí bàbá Moses Ọláníran. Ẹ bá gbọ́ wọlé share button. Ìyẹn lọ ṣe fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kò pín. Ṣòro àwọn ilé nísìn, àwọn ọmọ yìí nísìn, á ní kọ̀ọ̀kan tán máa fún àwọn Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan. Just to, make them happy. Àwọn ọmọ yìí. And these are just 29 years old. And you are there struggling as the Yoruba man. Àdẹ̀ní ká gba country kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Ká dá dúró sọ pé no. Let's watch this.
Its independence from Malaysia was successful. Lying at a strategically vital crossroads, it's emerged as an economic powerhouse. However, it had a difficult beginning. Its independence from Malaysia was one of the most interesting cases of state creation in modern international politics. Indeed, it's often seen as unique. Singapore is the only state to have been created by being forced out of another country. But is this an entirely accurate picture of what actually happened? Hello and welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is James Kerr-Lindsay, and here I take an informed look at international relations, conflict, security, and statehood. We tend to think that countries will resist the loss of territory at all costs. Modern international relations shows that very few states are willing to accept the independence of a breakaway region. But what happens if a state in fact wants to lose a piece of land? In truth, it's almost unknown. While countries may reluctantly accept that a piece of territory wants to secede, there are remarkably few instances where a country has actively wanted to get rid of part of its territory. Indeed, it's widely accepted that there's only one example of this in modern international politics: Singapore's expulsion from Malaysia in 1965. And yet, as we'll see, it wasn't quite as straightforward as it might seem. The island of Singapore lies just off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula in Southeast Asia. At around 721 square kilometres or 280 square miles, it ranks 175th out of the 193 members of the United Nations. Its population currently stands at 5.45 million. This is made up of a diverse mixture of national groups. The largest community are ethnic Chinese, representing around 3/4 of the population. Then there are Malays and ethnic Indians, representing 15% and 7.5% respectively. The remaining 1.5% or so are Europeans, Eurasians, and other communities. Although Singapore has a long history of settlement, the story really begins in 1819 when Sir Stamford Raffles, a British official, established a trading post on the then sparsely.
Did you hear the word? Trading post. Just like what they did in Nigeria. So what the British did, ní gbogbo ìgbà yẹn, if we do not allow it to collapse, we would all suffer the consequence of that. Nigeria was also a trading post. Just like they were setting up their trading posts all over the place, and all of a sudden, they coerce with the people there. Àwọn tó gbàbọ̀dé fún àwọn yẹn náà. And thank you so much to Professor James Carl Lindsay. This video was 2 years ago. Mukia Mobolan Lisaka. Mukia Bwentendara Pomoa. Shout out to you. They will always establish a trading post, just like they did with Nigeria. Trading post. Let's go and look at the dictionary or find something. Trading post. Let's see if anything pops up from Nigeria. Then let's put Britain. And that is where the Royal Niger Company let's read that quickly. Royal Niger Company. The Royal Niger Company was a mercantile company chartered by the British government in the 19th century. It was formed in 1879 as the United African Company, and it was renamed to the National African Company in 1881. Gbogbo báyìí, àkànjọ ń ṣòwò ni. Àwa àti Britain lájọ ń ṣòwò. Britain tí mo wà náà ni mò ń sọ yìí o, kò ń ṣe Britain nìkan kan. This same country tí mo wà náà. Àjọ ń ṣe òwò ni. Káràkátà. Káràkátà. Ara, anita. All this was happening from 1879, coming into 1881, and to the Royal Niger Company in 1886. As at that time, the Berlin Conference was 1884. So 2 years before Royal Niger Company was established, they've already divided and shared Africa that we were not consulted. They didn't call us. Now they are angry that Africa is all over European countries. So that is their problem. Because they knew what they were doing when they were creating this nonsense Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference of 1884. Berlin Conference of 1884. The Berlin Conference of 1884 up to 1885 that met on the 15th of November 1884 by English and the Germans and the Europeans without any consultation of Africans. Ìwọ wá fẹ́ parẹ́ fún Nàìjíríà. Kí ló rò pé Benin ṣe jẹ́ France control? That all happened in 1884. That was 2 years before the Royal Niger Company was established in what is called Nigeria today. You bomb bastard. Don't understand the concept. Mokia to be Milomo. Good evening. The Berlin Conference of 1884 was shaped by the títí dé 1885. In November 1884, these were white people from the English to the French to the Portuguese to the Spanish to the Italian. No Africans was consulted. Wọ́n pè wá sí wọ́n tẹ̀ ní báwo la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe o. Abiodun Monday mo kí triple R shout out to you. Mo kí àwa Ọpẹ́ Lóyẹrú Ọpẹ́ Lóyẹrú Ibrahim. Wọ́n pè wá sí. They decided that they would do whatever they wanted to do and split Africa. That Congo became a very annexed country of Belgium. Belgium want no Congo. Let me quickly show you that. Because some of you, we need to go back to the basic and prepare your mind while we're going to fight to exit Nigeria. King Leopold II decided that he will use Congo as his own annex. Àwọn olórí burúkú àwọn òyìnbó bomb bastard. Bàbá tẹ̀ ń wò yìí olùṣọ́ olórí burúkú ni. This man wọ́n pè ní King. Leopold was born 9th of April 1835. He died just few years before the creation of Nigeria in 1909. He was the second king of the Belgium from 1865 up to 1909 and the founder and the sole owner of Congo Free State from 1885 to 1908. And you want to die for a country that was a trading post. Because Nigeria was a trading post until the British took advantage through some of our own daleye Yoruba. Níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Ìyẹn lẹ ṣe máa ń rò pé gbogbo a máa dalẹ̀ Ìgbòho. Àbí ìbí nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ̀ rò lọ́kàn yín nìyẹn pé àwa kan máa dalẹ̀ Ìgbòho àbí Ìgbòho máa dalẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá èyí olùṣèyí bomb bastard. This man was born in Brussels as the second but the eldest surviving son of King Leopold I and Queen Lucille. Leopold succeeded his father to Belgian throne in 1865 at the age of 40, and he reigned for 44 years until his death. 44 years, that is 4 decades. The longest reign of a Belgian monarch to date. He died without surviving legitimate son. Kò fọmọ kankan sílẹ̀ sáyé. Irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ fọmọ sílẹ̀. But he took advantage of Congo. He actually turned Congo to his own second home. And that is why they had to apologize. Belgium apologized for the crime against. They actually apologized. Belgium king sent regret to Congo for what atrocity that was committed in the lives of the Congolese people. Just like the British government, or the British, not the government, because it was the empire, the British Empire, did to Yoruba people and Biafra and the Hausa. Social media. Because that is exactly what they've done. So let's read this. This is coming from 2020, after the whole Black Lives Matter started. Like Yoruba life never mattered. A sort of Black Lives Matter, when Yoruba life is also in danger on a daily basis. So Belgium, ìyẹn ọba tèní, ó wá ní kó jọ̀ọ́. That is exactly what King Charles should be doing right now. But he hasn't apologized. And he's not ready to apologize to anybody. So, what? And you know, ọba ìlú máa apologize fún kan tí àwọn great grandfather ó ṣe sí Nigeria. He's not going to apologize. He did not apologize when he went to Kenya. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó jọba tán. Fún kan tó ṣe fáwọn Mau Mau in 1953. So, ìwọ rò pé ọba King Charles ti UK ó máa apologize fún ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ táwọn bàbá ńlá ẹ̀ dá sí wa lọ́rùn tó dá sáwọn bàbá ńlá tiwa lọ́rùn tí gbogbo wa fi wà níbi tá a wà lénìí tó dá àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ní British passport àbí wọ́n ní American passport so ó ronú ilẹ̀ bàbá ẹ̀ mọ́ so passport yẹn wà cherishable than ilẹ̀ bàbá ẹ̀ àbí American passport ẹgbẹ́ dání yẹn ìyẹn wà more cherishable than ilẹ̀ tá à ń sọ pé ilẹ̀ tó fẹ́ gbà mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́. Torí ẹ ti gbé passport dání. So some of you are so comfortable. Hey, this passport can take me all over the world. Wọ́n gbalẹ̀ mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́ ọ̀dẹ̀. Ilẹ̀ yín ti gbà, wọ́n ti gbalẹ̀ kúrò lọ́wọ́ yín. Ò ń sọ̀rọ̀ passport. Sọ̀rọ̀ passport lẹ ká máa san nísìn. Àbí bá ṣe fẹ́ retain ilẹ̀ wa padà. Torí Britain kọ́ ló ní, America kọ́ ló ní, European country kọ́ ló ní, àwa la ní. And whatever we decide to do is exactly what we're going to do. Ìtọ́ bá wù wá ká fẹ́ ṣe lórí ilẹ̀ yẹn la máa ṣe nígbà tásìkò bá tó ká bá bọ́ sórí M1 torí a máa yin gìtá tó pọ̀. Let's read further and this is from the CNN. King of Belgium ìyẹn ọba tèní has sent his deepest regret. Ọmọ tó ń pè ní deepest pé irú nǹkan bá Yorùbá máa wáyé irú nǹkan tó yẹ kí King Charles máa ṣe nísìnyí yẹn kó máa apologize fún ìran Yorùbá fún nǹkan táwọn ìran ẹ̀ ṣe fún wa but kò apologize. Àmọ́ tó wà tí Tinubu jọ sọ nílùú kọ̀rọ̀ torí àmọ́ pé Tinubu lobby fún picture yẹn ni kó tó di kó dé Panama tó lọ sí St. Mary Hospital tó ṣe bí security guard tó dàbí security guard táwọn mọ̀ pé president ni mo kí ẹ Clement mo rí ẹ easy kò ní tán bẹ̀ fún ẹ mo kí wọ́n ìjọba lórí ìjókòó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyá mi Bridget Awoniyi àwọn ọ̀dàlẹ̀ àwọn ìkà àwọn ìka ọmọ Yorùbá táwa ń pariwo pé àwọn ọba ti Belgium tèmi ó ń apologize fún kan táwọn ọ̀run ẹ̀ ṣe fún Congo. King Charles ò tí ì ṣe yẹn fáwa but nígbà táwa bá fojú wọn fẹná nísàlẹ̀ lọ́hùn wàá mọ̀ pé lóòótọ́ ni Yorùbá fẹ́ lọ torí pé wọ́n expect pé ká ti ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ àwa là ṣe. King of Belgium has sent his deepest regret to the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo tó ń pè ní DRC for the suffering and the humiliation òun nìkan tó bá humiliate èèyàn mo ní pé 15 years ní wọ́n fi jẹ́ kí n jáde kúrò nínú ìlú yìí whereas àwọn ọmọ wọn ń lọ wọn ń bọ̀ bí ìlẹ̀kẹ̀dí wọn ń lọ wọn ń bọ̀ àwa wọn há wa mọ́nulé wọn nítorí pé àwọn wá ìwé yẹn kọ́ lẹ́lòmíì wá náà nísìnyí ṣe kúkú wá jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká kúkú padà ká lọ gba ìwé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá gangan torí àbí àwọn tó wá tó ń jẹ́ kán ní ìwé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ká fọ́ọ̀ṣì wọn jáde àwọn Fúlàní tó ń pa wá ìtí Ìgbòho sọ nìyẹn tó dìjà láàrin gbogbo wa ìtí Ìgbòho sọ nìyẹn pé ẹ̀ ń pa ìran ọ̀hún ìpẹ́ ṣe ń pa yóò dá kò dá ìkàlélẹ̀ yẹn ń ṣèkà ní nà ẹ̀ ń ṣèkà ìran ọ̀hún lẹ̀ ń pa ìran yẹn wá sọ pé náà àwa ti ní British passport abroad làwa wà Ìgbòho ṣọ́tọ̀ àbí má ṣe o mo fẹ́ fi kankan wọ̀nyí lánàá diaspora tó ń lọ sí Nàìjíríà tó sọnù mo rántí sọ lánàá diaspora bó ṣe ń dé Nàìjíríà lọ́nà ti sọnù àmọ́ ibi tó wà báyìí diaspora got lost orí Sahara mo ti rí lánàá ẹ jẹ́ àwọn òbí mo lè rí news and pick ń bọ̀. The diaspora from UK wọ́n ló ti sọnù náà sọ pé nǹkan kan lè ṣẹlẹ̀ orí màá lọ wá jáde màá lọ mú jáde nísìn orí Sahara ni mo ti rí lánàá wọ́n ní bó ṣe ń dé Nàìjíríà ló sọnù but let's stick to the Belgium sọ pé kọjọ kọ má bínú for the suffering is ṣebí kí ni suffering ní Yorùbá kí ló ń pè ní suffering mo kí alájẹ lẹ́ǹkan sí bàbá mi wàrí ìjìnàdún ní British Royal Niger Company, United Company, National African Company, Niger Company, these are all British trading posts in Nigeria tẹ̀fí ní liver brother lẹ́nu kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní suffering ìyà kò ní bàjẹ́ fún àròyé Odùduwà ṣé ìyà ò jẹ wá lẹ́nu but ǹjẹ́ ó yẹ kí king máa apologize fáwa náà pé ẹ má bínú fún ìyà tá a fi gbogbo àwọn ọ̀ràn yín jẹ tó ẹlòmíì ò mọ meaning slave ẹrú òrẹ́nu ẹ̀ ṣobolo a máa sọ̀rọ̀ jágbájágbá wọ́n ti bayé jẹ́ àwọn òyìnbó yìí wọ́n ti destroy ayé adẹ̀gbọ́dọ̀ gbára wa kúrò lọ́wọ́ wọn by fire by force torí pé àwọn tó ń lò nísìn làwọn Tinubu àtàwọn Sept wọn. We must do everything to get the hell out of Nigeria. Gbogbo tó bá gbà la gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe. Gbogbo nǹkan tó bá gbà pátápátá àdúrà ní owó ní èèyàn ní gbogbo nǹkan tó bá gbà ètùtù ní gbogbo ẹ̀ la gbọ́dọ̀ inject pé kí Nàìjíríà kó má exist mọ́ láyé torí pé existence of Nigeria ìyà ló jẹ́ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ ní gbogbo àgbáyé àtẹ tó ń bẹ nílé. Ìyà is a crime against humanity that we must not allow it to succeed again. So ọba ti Belgium wa apologize fún nǹkan tí King Leopold ṣe fún àwọn Congo for the suffering and humiliation his nation ìyẹn nation tí wọ́n inflicted while it was colonized. Britain ò tí respect that for Yoruba people and the rest of the people that are called Nigeria today. They refuse to respect the suffering of the people, the masses. Àfikún máa sọ fún wa pé àwọn ní cordial relationship pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fa cordial relationship yẹn yá ká sọ the crisis mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. Anybody máa ní reason láti gbádùn ẹ̀ mọ́. Ìyẹn lẹ́nu ẹ̀fẹ́ ìyá máa jẹ gbogbo yín ni. Ìyà tó jẹ mí á pẹ́. Oúnjẹ tí mo jẹ kù wà ní kitchen mo jẹ tán. Kí ìyà tó jẹ mí ó máa pẹ́. Suffering. Let's take that one again. The King of Belgium has sent his deepest regret to the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, company DRC, for the suffering and the humiliation his nation in Belgium, nation in Belgium, to inflict while it colonized the region, but stopped short of apologizing for his ancestor. Kò apologize for our ancestor tiẹ̀. Ó kò apologize lẹ́nu, but kò apologize fún crime tí ìyẹn ọba tàná lórí burúkú tó ń pè ní Leopold yẹn tó ṣe fún àwọn DRC, àwọn Congo níjọ́ náà lọ. And you see why à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀ràn wa. A máa sọ nǹkan tó ń dùn wá. Ẹlòmíì a máa sọ jágbajàgba jógbojògbo. Ẹ wo àwọn ọmọ Màlámí bó ṣe ń gbádùn ayé.
These people received in life. They were brought to Belgium to be put on display. For decades, the ugliest chapters of Belgian history have been buried, out of sight and out of mind. Like this century-old burial ground just outside Brussels, containing the remains of 7 Congolese. Dignity in death was not a luxury these people received in life. They were brought to Belgium to be put on display.
It was basically like a human zoo. I mean, daytime they had to do row races on the lake, and the women had to cook. And basically, Belgians came and looked at it. It was pure racism.
That human zoo was commissioned by King Leopold II in 1897. The killing of George Floyd in the U.S. has opened an old wound in Belgium. King Leopold made Congo his own personal possession, sending troops to pillage the ivory and rubber by enslaving the local population. Those who fought back paid with their hands, feet, or lives. At least 500,000 died. And yet today Leopold is memorialized in street names.
Mo sọ fún yín pé freedom people will die. Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ mẹ́yìn 500,000 ẹ má bínú pé audio yẹn lò gan is from the CNN website. Only 500,000 people die. Ẹ̀rí bó ṣe gé ọwọ́ àwọn èèyàn. And yet ọba títè ní ó kò apologize but kò apologize fún kan tí ancestors wọn ṣe. You can see why tí gbogbo nǹkan ṣe rí jágbajàgba jógbòjògbò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá because àìtí apologize fún ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tí Britain tó colonize tó ṣe fáwọn ọ̀ràn bàbá ńlá wa. Bàbá Akintoye ti ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn rí ní some years last year pé ká ṣàdúrà fún àwọn ìran tó gbé jáde kúrò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá because ẹ gbé wọn kúrò tí kò ń ṣe wíìlì wọn ṣèdí àwọn àtẹ̀lá sá kúrò Nàìjíríà wíìlì tàwa la fi sá kúrò àwọn èèyàn already pé wọ́n fẹ́ kúrò àbí ṣe gbọ́ wọn náà wọn ti Ìgbò wọn ni wọ́n ta sómi níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ni pé kàkà káwọn lọ ṣẹrú nílùú òyìnbó àwọn àyà máa jẹ́ kíkú gbé àwọn lọ sẹ́yìn ọmọ káwọn tó kó lọ ní ẹrú àìtí lọ ní kọ́ jọ kọ́ má bínú fún gbogbo ntí àwọn colonial masters ṣe fún wọn. Ìwọ wá ń sọ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò settle down báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ settle down àfi tá a bá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà torí Nàìjíríà ò ní jẹ́ ká ṣe gbogbo tá a bá ń ṣe prayer náà ní ti ìlànà Christian kò ní lè gbà lé wọn lórí torí inú Nàìjíríà òfò la wà tá a bá ń ṣe prayer ní ti ìlànà Mùsùlùmí kò ní gbà lé wọn lórí tá a bá ń ṣe ní ti ìlànà àwọn tí baba ńlá wa kò ní gbà lé wọn lórí torí pé a ní ṣe in accordance bó ṣe jẹ́ ká ṣe ó yẹ káwa máa ní àwọn ọjọ́ ẹ̀yà irú ìtọ́fẹ́ ṣe ní ọ̀la nísìn tó ń pè ní Yorùbá National Unity Day tó bá yẹ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni public holiday ló máa jẹ́ olórí burúkú Nàìjíríà la wà everybody lọ sí school lọ́la tó yẹ ká máa lọ sí school nígbà tó fẹ́ ṣe National Public Day tiwa máa sọ pé ò fẹ́ kí Yorùbá kó kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ìyà ló máa pa ẹ́ ìyà yẹn máa pa ẹ́ kò dẹ̀ ebi gbogbo alájọ́ rí nísìn kálá fún Bísọ́lá lálàáfíà tó bá jẹ́ pé ìlú òyìnbó ló wà tí a máa wá tọrọ owó fún pé kó fi ṣe surgery fún kó fi tọ́jú ẹ̀ ṣé bó ṣe ń ṣe ní UK nìyẹn ẹni tó bá sick a máa wá sórí social media ó yẹ bá wa dáwó ìrẹ́ má dáwó akọni ká sọ fún yín pé sick ni. Do you know how many people are going through all kind of terminal illness nílùú ìtọ́jú pé wọ́n ń tọ́jú wọn 24/7 wọ́n dẹ̀ ti sọjọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ omi máa kú fún. But wọ́n máa fún ní the last final right tó máa gbádùn ayé ẹ̀ tí kù yẹn máa fi dé tọ́pọ̀ tó yìnbó bá sọ fún ẹ kó máa kú ní dọ́bà ìjọ ẹ̀ ló máa kú torí wọ́n ti rí ni technology ti dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀. Àṣẹ̀wá ń gbé Bísọ́lá wá sórí social media irú àwa tọrọ owó fún o akọni káwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pé ó síkì ní kí la ní láti mọ̀ pé ó síkì fún ẹ gbé lọ sí Luke hospital kọ́ máa tọ́jú ẹ̀ intanidi nìyẹn kọ́ lọ́dẹ̀ fún lálàáfíà tíyẹn bá tẹ̀ máa kọ́kọ́ máa ṣe àdúrà wàá tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ kó gbé orí ẹ̀ sórí MRI kan scan orí ẹ̀ ká mọ tó ń ṣe é. àwa rí YouTube view 200,000 àti dá 1 million fún 1 million táwọn kan fi mo fi máa disrespect obìnrin lórí platform 1 million táwọn boys tó fi ń ṣe jẹjẹ tó fi ní kọ́bìnrin máa jó kọ́ máa kó sórí ìdí ẹ̀. ẹ wo bó ṣe balẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ ìyàn wàá dùn wọ́n lọ́kàn inú ọ̀ máa bí ẹ lójoojúmọ́ kó máa sùn kó máa jí kí inú máa bí ẹ lójoojúmọ́ pé irú ìdààmú wo la wà nú ẹ̀ ìyẹn ọ̀ṣẹ́ tí Kóìkì yẹn ló wà concern about one bastard kò ní dáa fáwọn tó bí ẹ wọ́n ní ṣoríire. King Leopold ó create a human zoo òun tó pè bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n kó àwọn èèyàn sínú zoo wọ́n kéjì wọn àwọn èèyàn wà ló ń fi owó wò wọ́n ká bèsè Elédùmarè. Ṣèbí zoo náà ràgbà tábà wá ní zoo ní Nàìjíríà ní shut up ṣèbí dáwọ̀ sọ yìí ọ̀bọ̀n kò ní dáa fún wa bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹ gbàtà bí wa síbẹ̀ ṣé Nàìjíríà níbẹ̀ nígbà tí wọ́n bí wa nígbà tí tó jẹ́ 18 something 15th century ṣé wọ́n ní Nàìjíríà ṣèbí fraud ni ṣètò bá bí wa síbẹ̀ ṣé àwa kọ́ la nílẹ̀ yẹn orúkọ yẹn la ní ká sọ orúkọ yẹn ká fi sínú náà ká jó gbogbo ẹ̀dánù ká ṣàdúrà lé lórí pé Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká tún bá Nàìjíríà pàdé ìyẹn mo ṣe ń bí bàbá Adébóyè pé kí ni Ọlọ́run fi wọ̀nyí afẹ́mọ̀ torí irọ́ lẹ̀ ń pa fún wa afẹ́mọ̀ tí Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè fi wọ̀nyí torí pé afẹ́mọ̀ the end of this shit hole country tó pè Nàìjíríà àwa dẹ̀ la máa rí the end ẹ̀ tẹ́yìn ò bá sọ fún wa àwa la máa rí the end Nàìjíríà torí pé ẹ̀yin lé ẹ̀kẹ́ máa sọ fún wa pé nǹkan báyìí l'Ọlọ́run sọ fún yín lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ìyẹn bàbá Adébóyè ẹ wá mẹ́nu dákẹ́ ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ìyà wa ń jẹ gbogbo wa ẹ̀yin gbádùn gbogbo wa níjọ gbádùn ẹ̀ mọ́ ni ó kù díẹ̀ gbogbo wa pátá kò sẹ́ni tó máa gbádùn ẹ̀ mọ́ ṣèbẹ́yìn sì ń travel ẹ̀ lọ tán pẹ̀lú security ni a máa ṣọ́ọ̀tì gbogbo ẹ̀dá kò ní sẹ́ni kankan tó máa mú blọ̀sẹ̀ anywhere ó kù díẹ̀ nìbọn ró. They created human zoo. Do you know what it means? Kò ń ṣe ẹran lọ́kọ́ síbẹ̀ kò ń ṣe ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ kò ń ṣe màálù kò ń ṣe ẹyẹ kò ń ṣe crocodile kò ń ṣe snake wọ́n kó àwọn èèyàn sínú zoo wọ́n dẹ̀ kéèjì wọn àwọn kan wá lọ ń fowó wò wọ́n níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ìyẹn bàbá olórí burúkú tó ń pè ní King Leopold ìyẹn wàá dùn ẹ́ lọ́kàn kínú máa bí ẹ pé irú láìfù ó lélẹ̀ ṣé bó ṣe jẹ́ kí láìfù rí nìyẹn irú láìfù yẹn náà kọ́ra ṣì ń jẹ́ ìyẹn nísìn tàbá wá ní zoo ní Nàìjíríà ṣé wọ́n kéèjì yín nísìn you are in the zoo because Bisola nísìn I saw her and I'm thinking, she believe she necessary. All she need is to be in a care home. Come and touch her at the hospital. Come and get proper first class medical. Come and touch her. Come and tell me what you say. Àwa gbé wá sórí social media. Ó ti sick o. Ọdún mélòó ló ti ní àìsàn yẹn? Ọdún méjì. Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́. Bá dẹ̀ ti sọ fún gbogbo kí ló ní láti sọ fún gbogbo yòókù. Do you know how many people are going through all kind of different illness around the world? Why do people need to know when you are sick? Hospital àti government lè kó máa tọ́jú ẹ̀ okay? But ìkànnì àwa sọ gbogbo nǹkan di content Kòkun foundation àjáde akórẹsì a máa fáwọn ìyá wa ní ìrẹsì àti bọ̀lì àtẹ̀pà àbí we like that kind of lifestyle. Let's go back to the trading post. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sẹ́ gbọ́n lè share button àṣẹmẹ́yẹ bọ̀ lápò mi. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ fídíò yẹn tán délẹ̀ màá rí wine ẹ̀ kókò tún refresh nínú brain ẹ torí onígbàgbé ni wá onígbàgbé yẹn mi náà máa ń gbàgbé onígbàgbé yẹn ni wá so màá tún refresh brain yín kẹ́ gbọ́ ìyà tí ọba Belgium tó fi wọ́n jẹ ní Congo níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ní 18 something kò tí ì sí Nàìjíríà ń gbà yẹn trading post ní gbogbo wọn ṣe káàkiri especially àwọn Europeans yìí they came as friends àwa ló pàlejò ní wọn àwọn èèyàn tá ti miss ẹ̀rọ kí tíyàn bá ti travel for a very long time tó bá wálé àwọn kan máa ń ṣe surprise fún dádì wọn ẹ má máa ṣe àwọn surprise tí bàbá yẹn tó yẹ pé bp akọ̀kú dànù ni ó ti ṣọ́kó lọ sí Canada láti 15 years àwa dé lásàpamọ́ sẹ́yìn ilẹ̀kùn ẹ pé dádì wọlé ẹ pé dádì àti mọ́mì wọlé àwọn máa jọ sunkún wọ́n jọ máa sunkún kí là ń wá káàkiri kò ní ìwé ló ṣe pẹ́ ní 15 years ẹni tó bá wà lábroad tó wálé within 1 year kò ní ìwé ni ó ń tòwé ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kò dẹ́ ṣe tán tètè fún yàn immigration lẹ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ tough lọ́jọ́ iwájú ó gbọ́dọ̀ tough kò ń ṣe ta máa fẹ́ anybody níwèé torí Britain ò fẹ́ anybody níwèé mo kí àwa pátú sí Elizabeth ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tí ọba ìjọ náà lọ́hùn tó ṣe ká wá padà sí ẹ mọ̀ pé trading post la fi dé bíbá from trading post a lọ sí Congo a máa padà sí trading post yẹn Royal Niger Company ó gbọ́ rí ẹ ò nílé gbọ́ nígbà tó ti yọ history kúrò nínú school báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ gbọ́ yẹn àwa gbogbo à ń ṣe content káàkiri àwa tó yẹ ká máa develop technology innovation patent àwa ń ṣe content. What content do? You make people laugh. Everybody wants your content all over the place. Let's continue the program. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbàlagbà. I'm going to make my mic kájọgbọ́ again.
Ugliest chapters of Belgian history have been buried, out of sight and out of mind. Like this century-old burial ground just outside Brussels, containing the remains of 7 Congolese. Dignity in death was not a luxury these people received in life. They were brought to Belgium to be put on display.
It was basically like a human zoo. I mean, daytime they had to do row races on the lake, and the women had to cook. And basically, Belgians came and looked at it. It was pure racism.
That human zoo was commissioned by King Leopold II in 1897. The killing of George Floyd in the U.S. has opened an old wound in Belgium. King Leopold made Congo his own personal possession, sending troops to pillage the ivory and rubber by enslaving the local population. Those who fought back paid with their hands, feet, or lives. At least 500,000 died. And yet today Leopold is memorialized in street names and statues across Belgium.
Je me sens un peu rabaissée parce que c'est les gens de mon origine, de ma communauté qui ont été tués. Et c'est comme si tu mettais une statue d'Hitler en plein Berlin. Moi, je me sens comme ça. C'est comme si tu mettais une statue de Léopold II en plein Bruxelles.
The visual legacy of a king who reigned for 44 years may well be taken down by a boy who's only been alive for 14. Noah, born in Belgium to Congolese parents, has got more than 80,000 people to sign his petition demanding the city of Brussels take down Leopold's statues by June 30th. Pierre Company was born in colonial Congo and is now Belgium's first black mayor. He thinks correcting Belgium's problems with racism start with a proper education about the past.
Si les enfants en Belgique avaient étudié l'histoire, et l'histoire bien écrite, je crois qu'aujourd'hui on ne serait pas avec tous ces problèmes. Si ton arrière-grand-père était de ceux qui étaient là où l'on a coupé les mains, tu ne vas pas commencer à crier mon arrière-grand-père l'a fait.
Vandals have already torched a Leopold statue in Antwerp, taken a sledgehammer to a bust in Brussels, and dumped paint on another outside the African Museum, which still houses artifacts pillaged from Congo. Director Guido Gracile spent half a decade scrubbing its colonial image, but he may soon have a new headache. Several cities and towns are looking to the museum to give their Leopold-era statues a new home.
We haven't really decided yet whether we want to become a memorial or shrine from Leopold II or whether we can convert it in some sort of work of contemporary art.
So here you've tried to decolonialize this museum, and yet you may end up with a colony of Leopold statues.
Yeah, but it will be in a different context.
Last week, Parliament voted to start a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to atone for the sins of Belgian rule in Africa. But in response to Noah's petition, the Brussels mayor says he doesn't have authority to remove any statues.
Allez, en enlevant la statue, on n'enlève pas l'histoire. Et je trouve que c'est pas les statues qui doivent enseigner les personnes.
Removing the statues won't reverse the atrocities of yesterday, but the empty plinths may force Belgium to learn a lesson that's long overdue. Scott McLean, CNN, Brussels.
Welcome once again to the program. As we continue the self-determination, let's also remind ourselves that there's so much to learn in the history. Hold on, from Yawa Janet Fashaki, barrister, ìjọ̀gbọ́n tí ọlọ́jọ́ dé gbogbo ètò ìsìnkú tó máa wáyé ní October 11th, 12th and the 13th ní New York níbi tí àwọn ọmọ wọn àti mọ̀lẹ́bí tó ti máa sin ìyá náà. She will be remembered for all the great things that she's done, and especially for serving humanity and also putting her own footprint, because gbogbo tí ìyá yẹn ṣe la máa fi ṣèrántí wọn títí tí a máa fi dé ilẹ̀ lérí agbára Ọlọ́run. Now, let's take you back to the trading post. And sort of nípa Royal Niger Company. A lot of Yoruba people or Nigerians do not even understand why and what happened. I'm going to explain to you briefly. Just briefly. Mo kí our comfort Ologunja. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin GR1. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí a jọ bẹ̀ lórí ètò. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tá wà lórí Instagram and the Twitter and all the Biafrans that are watching and listening, as well as those of you on the mixer. Mo kí Ogumola. Mo kí Allahu Baba. We're already 2 hours into the program and I've not even touched the areas I want to. So I might extend this program a little bit, just prepare your mind. Muki Abdullah, Triple DRS, Muki Brother, Sheikh Honorable, Mr. Bamidele Aliu, Mr. Moses Olaniro, Ifagbemileke, Muki Sister Medada, Muki Baba Warish Jinadu, Muki Bubo, and silent listeners, Mr. Yodele, okay, Matthew. My name is Olamiko Ike, one out of many Yoruba people that want us to have our own independent Yoruba country away from Nigeria. And it's going to happen, and it will happen even before the twinkle of an eye. But we will not sit back without educating and preparing many of our people. Mr. Ajayi Sunday Mukinyi, if you're new to the platform, share the program. We're streaming on multiple different platforms, from the Twitter space, where we have at least a few people that have joined us, Akede, Real Yoruba, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Yinka, and Omo Yoruba. If you have never listened to me before and you are praying that Nigeria will work, it will not work. Rather than it work, we will pull it down. You might be saying, how are you going to do that? No, we're not going to say everything on the social media. We'll be stupid to be telling you that. What we are doing for is called a media war, which is exactly what I'm doing today. Inject the doctrine of reason why Nigeria should break up. And by the time you listen and understand, then it will be easy for me to say, when we mobilize, like Professor Wole Soyinka said, we have to mobilize. And if we don't mobilize, every one of us will be fight. So, and this is exactly what Soyinka said a few months back.
So what do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil mobilization. And if we keep waiting for this to be centrally handled, we're all going to become, if we're not already, slaves in our own land. That for me is personally intolerable. It's not an acceptable condition. And whatever it takes, I stand ready to contribute in any way. So what do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil mobilization. And if we keep waiting for this to be centrally handled, we're all going to become, if we're not already, slaves in our own land. That for me is personally intolerable. It's not an acceptable condition. And whatever it takes, I stand ready to contribute in any way. So what do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep?
Àtúnrọ̀mọ́ pure water báyìí pé kó lọ ra pure water wa pure water ń sì ó ti di méjì báàgì méjì 500 kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀ èwo ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí kí ló tún kọ pure water omi tá fi ń dáná omi tá fi ń dáná kí ló dé pé gbogbo nǹkan báyìí ìnira ti pọ̀ jù Lagos State kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tẹ́ ń ta pure water láti inú mọ́tò méjì 500 méjì báàgì méjì 500 láti inú mọ́tò àwọn tó máa tún tà kọ́lé ló máa tà kí ló pé ìnira á pọ̀ jù ní Nàìjíríà ìnira ti pọ̀ jù àtìgbà tí Buhari ti bọ́lẹ̀ báyìí ni Buhari ti gbé lọ́ọ̀fù ló ti gbé ìfẹ́ lọ kò sífẹ̀ẹ́ mọ́ ìnira ayé ti pọ̀ jù epo wọn àsọ̀rọ̀ gàrí wọn àsọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo nǹkan wọn àsọ̀rọ̀ ṣé pure water omi tá a mu lẹ́tún jẹ́ kó wọ́n omi jọ́sọ̀ omi tọ́lọ́run dà tó ń ṣe pé bóyá pé kínní òun lẹ́tún jẹ́ kó wọ́n ibo la ń lọ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ibo la ń lọ báyìí níbo la ń lọ tó bá pọ̀ ogun la máa jà tí gbogbo èyí máa fi solve tó bá pọ̀ ogun la máa jà tí gbogbo ìyà tí àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù ń jẹ yìí táàfin ní jẹ mọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká kúkú jagun ẹ tó bá máa kú kó kú ẹ tó bá máa yè kó yè ìnira àtẹ́ni wọ́n lára yóò ti pọ̀ jù ẹ̀yin nìkan lè gbádùn kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gan ṣẹ́yìn lè gbé wáyé wọlé síbẹ̀ ni why we stop to be like this Nàìjíríà tí màdù ń jẹ Nàìjíríà ìgò sweet ìjọ ló máa tó dùn ẹ̀sìn àtúrọ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ni mi fẹ́ gbógun wá tẹ́lẹ̀ mo kí ẹ Rúgíjà brọ́dà mi nígbàjẹ́ fún ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. I'm surprised now that people are asking for what I never asked for. Èmi ò gbógun wá. You heard Wole Soyinka. We have to mobilize. So what I'm doing right now, I'm mobilizing Yoruba people to prepare to defend and take back what Britain never gave us. Mokia Sonki, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Kúnlé Shita Moki. And we are not the only one asking for it.
There is one constitutional issue in the UK that I'm really interested, genuinely, to know what your opinion is on it, and that's Scottish independence. Look, it might be something that you haven't given much thought to, but over here it's such a live debate because, of course, we're looking for a new leader of the Scottish National Party. And one of the arguments is that, look, Scotland tends to tack more left politically. They've obviously had a Conservative government in Westminster for over a decade. What's your instinct on it? What's your gut say?
Look, I'm not an expert on UK politics. I very much appreciate what the people of Scotland have done, what they're fighting for. And my, initial thought, not being an expert, they want to go their own way, they should be allowed to.
So you think they should at least have the opportunity to
That would seem to me, don't tell anybody I said that.
Don't worry, that's just between...
There is no land called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves. We are not Nigerian. Okay, where is Nigeria? Where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say, pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself, because the people who want to be that Nigeria had not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria.
And welcome back again. My name is Olami Koike. Shout out to every one of you. The Royal Niger Company. This was a British government company that was set up in 1879 for one purpose, just one purpose, trade, showo, just like a lot of us are doing across the globe in Africa and around the world and within ourselves. I've told you before that they came into Lagos in 1886. So after they settled down, people here are doing very well. Wow, water, they are good people, they welcome us. And it's okay, let's start trading. And they now even realize that, wow, the best one to do is to do slave trade. The one that they were doing before was not satisfying enough. And they started taking us as slaves. Eru. And that is why we are still suffering the consequence of that damage today. And until we call it a day with Nigeria, we will all suffer more. This has nothing to do with your religion. Your religion is your own personal business. Your freedom is my own business for you, because some of you cannot understand what is freedom. So let's move swiftly. In 1929, this is after they've already set up their crime country called Nigeria. After they set up Nigeria, after Britain, this man, some few hours, I believe you'll be very busy. I've been trying to look for you. I can't spot you on the podcast. I know a few people that are working back to back from the background sector, especially from this country, tackling the MP. Court. You'll be surprised. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni Mr. Jaini, ìnira yìí ti pọ̀ jù. So kí la máa ṣe fún ìnira yẹn? Ó ní pé ká ní àwọn náà lára. Bá dẹ̀ ṣe lè ní wọ́n lára ní crisis. You got to set up a crisis. Why do you think all these things happen around the world? The FBI knows a lot of things that are happening. They set up crises, create problems around the world. So we must also prepare the crisis of Nigeria so that it can end. So let me read a little bit more, because a lot of you does not know the meaning of the Royal Niger Company. So in 1929,
Can you please help me to minus 1929? I can do it myself with my calculator here. So let's remove 1929 minus 1914 and see what we get. 15 years. So Britain were already operating in that part called geographical expression, like Baba Oluwole said. Because in 18, it was nothing called Nigeria. Kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria. So in 1886 is when they arrived into Lagos territory. But in 1929, the company became part of United African Company, was a British company which principally traded in West Africa during the 20th century, just like we were listening to in the Malaysia, Singapore. It is always about trade. Britain needed something in the century. They were suffering. They needed a lot of support. They needed a lot of people to even go and fight their war. The World War II has nothing to do with the Africans. They push us into it. Another World War III is going on now. They are pushing it into Africa. We are seeing every part of Africa from Mali to Burkina Faso. War is going on there. It's the Western imperialism. Àwọn náà ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn. So, ìtàwọn lè ṣe ni pé káwa náà fọ́ gbogbo ìtókù. Because àwọn náà ti fọ́, it was a trading route. Everybody knows that. The United African Company was a British, this same country where they live, but not be another one. No. Don't go and be looking for another one. This company, this country where they live, during that time, it was a British company. Ilé-iṣẹ́, the same way where they call myself company. Like now, I can call Arole Oduduwa, Moke Agbeloba. I can say to Arole Oduduwa, can we start trading? And he will ask me where. I say, okay, let's look for a country that is good to trade so that we can, our revenue. That is why Tinubu wants to bring Coca-Cola to come and trade. And when you drink too much of the Coca-Cola, there's no health care to look after you. Really. So, mo lè sọ pé Arole Oduduwa, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wá ìlú kan tájọ máa lọ máa trade, but I don't want Nigeria because I will be losing money because the forex is bouncing like that. Pound sterling is 2,200 naira. Dollar is 1,600. Tabar, look, if I send this to Nigeria right now to sell, and I give it to Timothy, Eshegoni Egbomi Triple DRS, 15 years, between 1929 and 1914. So Tibani, Agbeloba, ṣẹlẹ̀ bá mi máa ta kíni yẹn ní àpò ìkìgbó ọmọ rà kíni tẹ máa fi ń pètè yẹn àwọn náà máa ní ìdẹ̀dí lọ́dún ní Nàìjíríà. I buy this at £1. I send it to Nigeria. By the time it gets to Nigeria, I will not make the money that I bought with this back. But what should be happening is that I should be telling Arole Oduduwa that he is an intelligent man. He has studied this crude oil. Why not let us produce it in Nigeria? So that I would then give some to Agbeloba to be selling for me, and the rest, they will bring it to UK. I will be looking for markets. That is what is happening. That is what is called trade. But what you are doing is the opposite. You are importing everything that you are consuming, including toothpick. Adenigi ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. But what we don't have is, we are in a country that is taking us backward. And when we are saying, let's pull out together, some of you are saying, no, what is the meaning of Yoruba nation? Ìyà ló ń jẹ nínú Nigeria. But the British knew that, how can we then move from a trade to slave trade? Ibẹ̀ àjọ ń rà àjọ ń tà ni. And nígbà yẹn, they give us something, we give them something. They give us something, we give us something. And all of a sudden now, they started pulling people. Human beings were then moved out of this country that they met. Because Yoruba was a country. We were empire. Empire làwa náà. Tètè gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa ń gbọ́ Ọ̀yọ́ empire, Èkìtì empire, Kìnìkan empire. Empire ni wọ́n bá wa dáadáa. Àwa di ẹni tí empire wa lé ní nísìn. Ìyàlẹ̀ ń jẹ ẹ̀rí gbogbo létẹ̀ ń gbé smelly. Ẹ̀rí gbogbo títì kò sómi. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tí yẹn sọ pé tó bá jẹ́ ogun ni ká jà ká. Èmi náà sọ pé ẹ má yẹ ká jà ogun o. Ó ní nísìn wá ní ogun la máa jà. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ jà ogun. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa jagun because ní ìbọn ta fi jà ogun. But we will create the crisis. We must create the. Tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá create the crisis, ẹ lè gba country mo sọ fún yín. Ẹ jẹ́ n wá fídíò bàbá ìjáde àbí ọ́díò tí mo fi play fún yín lánàá. a ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mẹ́yẹ̀ bọ̀ lápò ni mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹgbẹ́ orí share button. Àkọ́kọ́ tó máa wò mí ní àbí inú ń bí ẹ. Trading post ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n fi ń ṣòwò ní àmẹ́bí ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram ẹ̀ nílé ìdáhùn kan tí mo fi ń wọ̀n. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ Ọláyọmí Koiki Media Liverpool Street Slave Museum ẹ rí bó ṣe di àwọn èèyàn. Wọ́n dé wọn ní Slave Museum tó bá dé Liverpool Street kò ń ṣe Liverpool Street o Liverpool ti outside London Slave Museum Liverpool Koiki Media èmi débẹ̀ ni wàá bá wọn á sunkún wọn máa pé wọ́n ti gbé gbogbo anígógó. I love this one bó ṣe dèèyàn mọ́lẹ̀ let's watch this one ẹ bó ṣe dè mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ bó ṣe dè ẹni mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ máa wo ilé ìlọmọ ń bọ̀ ẹ máa wò lọ èèyàn lọ dè mọ́lẹ̀ yẹn èmi rí ni wọ́n dè báyìí wọ́n dè lẹ́sẹ̀ wọ́n dè gbogbo ẹ̀ ó wá náà àwọn èèyàn ní bínú tàti apologize fún wọn mo ń bọ̀ èèyàn wa pé play audio kan fún mi kẹgbọ́ ẹ̀ ń fẹ́ gba country kakọ̀ máa sọ Yorùbá nation lórí social media ìyẹn lọ́ fi ń gba country no the aftermath la máa prepare fún a máa lẹ́yìn eléyìí nísìn a gbé lọ sọ́dọ̀ brother mi Délé Fárótìmí bọ̀ mo kọ́kọ́ mo kí Adam Smart mo fẹ́ sáré play audio tí mo fẹ́ play fún yín lánàá ẹ̀ pé ìyẹn kọ́kọ́ ni mo fi sílẹ̀ gbọ́n yẹn pásítọ̀ ni wọ́n pásítọ̀ tó ń sọ fún wa pé ẹ má lọ múra sílẹ̀ kẹ́ wá bẹ ṣe máa ọkàn ń bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí sáré wà jáde ní search ìmẹ̀kọ kò sẹ́niwẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ò sọ pé àwọn ti ṣe tán a gbọ́dọ̀ prepare náà fún aftermath àwọn ẹrú ló dé báyìí àwọn òyìnbó yìí àwọn ẹrú ẹ wo bá ṣe dè wọ́n ọ̀yà ẹ̀dá gbọ́ ọ́díò yìí wá tó bá ń gbọ́ ilé ìdáná á bí ẹ díẹ̀ nínú ọ̀bá dẹ̀ bí ẹ problem ti ẹ nìyẹn. bọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń kọ̀nẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ̀pọ̀dì speaker rather mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá o ọ̀yà ẹ̀dá gbọ́ ilé.
Depending the time you are in your location. Ọlọ́run á mú adélẹ̀ lórí ayé àti ìwàsá.
Ẹ máa gbádùn yẹn kẹ́dẹ̀ máa wo àwọn ẹrú tó dè mọ́lẹ̀. Àwọn yìí di àwọn bàbá ńlá wa nìyẹn.
Nígbà tó pé ìpè ẹ máa ní o láti gbé sẹ́nità. So nǹkan tí mo kàn fẹ́ sọ ni pé gbogbo àwọn tó wà níjọba bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti rí president gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n ní bad record. Ẹnìkan ọ̀dẹ̀ lè tú àṣírí ẹnìkan ẹnìkan bá lóun á tú àṣírí ẹnìkan àṣírí ẹni tó tú yẹn òun náà tún máa tú àṣírí ẹni tó tú àṣírí ẹ̀ nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ gangan òun nìyẹn so gbogbo wọn pátápátá bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti president vice president àti àwọn tó mú tó wà níjọba gbogbo wọn náà ní bad record and Ìgbòho ò lè dá iṣẹ́ yẹn ṣe bàbá Ìgbòho kò lè dá iṣẹ́ yẹn ṣe unless tí àwọn tó ti wà straight wọ́n ti ready láti jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó dàrú káwọn UN yẹn wá dá sí unless kí action nǹkan tí mò ń sọ gan ni pé kí action kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí ẹ̀yin Yorùbá nation tẹ́ bá ń wo Tinubu pé Tinubu máa ṣe dáadáa irọ́ ni ẹ lọ fọkànbalẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí orin tí mo sẹ́ni sí ẹ lọ fọkànbalẹ̀ lórí irọ́ ẹ ti fi ṣe program rẹ̀ sí lórí UK ẹ lọ fọkànbalẹ̀ lórí irọ́ take action immediate action mo ti gbọ́ command Fọlọ́runṣọ́ tó jẹ́ bóyá UN àmì or US àmì tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ kán take action with bàbá wa Sunday Igboho. The action will bring solution to our problem in Yoruba land. Otherwise, it will be getting worse than worse. It will worse the same. But come about worse, ká tó má bàa blame yín tẹ́ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ kí Yorùbá nation kó dúró, ká tó má bàa blame yín, the action must be taken immediate effect. Ọlọ́run ràn yín lọ́wọ́, Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ ran bàbá wa Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho CSI aka Ìgbòho òòṣà, Ọlọ́run ràn lọ́wọ́, ọwọ́ ọ̀tá ò ní ká, ọwọ́ ayé ò ní ká, gbogbo àwọn tó bá ń gbìmọ̀ láti dojú ẹ̀ bolẹ̀, gbogbo ọ̀run á bá wa dojú wọn kí wọn náà bolẹ̀ lórúkọ Jésù. But let the action be taken immediate effect. Tinubu ò lè rí nǹkan kan ṣe o. Àwọn tó kó tira gbogbo wọn ní olè oníjìbìtì títí kan àwọn governors olè gbogbo wọn lè rí nǹkan kan ṣe. Kò sẹ́ni tó support Yorùbá nation nù wọn, gbogbo owó tó fẹ́ kí wọ́n ti lọ tọ́jú ẹ̀ orí ẹ̀nu náà máa fi mọ́. Èyí tẹ̀ ń ṣe Yorùbá nation ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó dàrú. Ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ tán ní kò ní sí yẹn, láì sí ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ kò sí àlàáfíà o. Bíbélì náà sọ o, ẹ lọ kà á Bíbélì, ẹ lọ wo Dáfídì tàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ kó tó di pé Dáfídì ní àlàáfíà o, ó tàjẹ̀sílẹ̀. Ìdí yẹn tọ́lọ́run sọ pé o kò lè kọ́lé fún òun, ìbọn ò ti ṣètò ẹni tó máa kọ́lé fún òun torí pé ọwọ́ ẹ̀ kún fẹ́jẹ̀. Ó lálàáfíà, ìyẹn sọ pé kó má wọ ìjọba ọ̀run. So Ọlọ́run á ràn yín lọ́wọ́, á
ràn gbogbo wa lọ́wọ́. Àṣàkẹ́ TV show, mo kí ẹ̀yà mi dáadáa. Ẹ má gbàgbé kẹtúbọ̀ bá wa ràn ìyá yìí lọ́wọ́ ká lè rí interfere fún wọn ká lè ríra. A ṣe wà lórí trading post. Nigeria was a trading post. Tokyo 778 mo kí ẹ̀yin dáwà lórí Instagram. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa. Ẹ bá gbọ́ lé share button kẹ love kẹ like níta lè fi ràn wá lọ́wọ́ nìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ̀ ní owó tẹ̀ pé fún wa. And don't be deceived by any of this corrupt media ní Nigeria. They are all corrupt. Orí Facebook kọ́ ló ti máa dolówó, orí YouTube kọ́ láti máa dolówó. I need the country tiwa ká fi dolówó. Àṣírí rẹ̀ ń gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi yẹn. Social media kọ́ ló máa fún wa lówó, content creator kọ́ ló máa fún wa lówó. You need to have your own country. Àwa máa fi passport Yorùbá, a máa fi travel káàkiri. Mr. Olatunji Table mo kí yín. The only way ẹ tó bá fẹ́ pè nísìn máa fún ní space pé kẹ́ fi pè wọlé àdébàṣì máa bá program lọ. Nọ́mbà tẹ́ máa fi pè ó ló wà lábẹ́ screen yẹn +44 74 0440 5917. Ẹ bá fẹ́ pè wọlé. Ọkọ ya tèmi gangan. Gbogbo fídíò tó bá mi download yẹn mo fẹ́ fi fóònù yẹn lélẹ̀. Mo ní láti ra memory stick sí ẹnu mo fi ń rà. So that tí bá ti rà sí èyí tí mo nínú ẹ̀ 2 gig ni kò dẹ̀ ràn mọ́, so ó ti overload. Mo ní láti increase capacity ẹ̀. Gbogbo fídíò tó bá ìyẹn mo ṣe download wá rí pé mo ṣí message ẹ̀ kò tí bá ṣí á indicate pé mo ti kà. Màá try lágbára Elédùmarè ní wíìkì rántí ra memory kìnìlá. Gbogbo ẹ̀ tó bá ní ọ̀rọ̀ sọ sí tó wà nílẹ̀ lórí ètò tá à ń bá lọ kẹ́pẹ́ wọlé. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Britain bí wọ́n ṣe ń lo Nàìjíríà gẹ́gẹ́ bí okòwò. Mo mọ̀ pé Yorùbá tèmi ò dàbí Àṣàkẹ́ TV show ìyẹn lè ṣe máa ń fi èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì fi ṣe program púpọ̀. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ní Kóìkì òyìnbó tó ń sọ yẹn ó ti pọ̀ jù. Easy dem máa ní tó bá ti gbé plug sétí báyìí kò gbọ́n kankan mọ́. A máa lọ tàtàtàtàtàtà mo send audio kan sí ìyá kan. Ìyá yẹn ní òyìnbó yẹn ti pọ̀ jù pé kí n bá wọn lọ gbé sí Yorùbá lórí ẹni tó gbọ́ Yorùbá yẹn. Ọmọ ọbẹ̀ Abọ́dún Grace bàbá dáadáa. Àwọn ilé wọn ní lọ sí chọ́ọ̀chì wọn, àwọn èèyàn ní lọ sí chọ́ọ̀chì wọn fẹ́ràn àwọn chọ́ọ̀chì ọmọ ọbẹ̀ Abọ́dún Grace. Àwọn chọ́ọ̀chì bàbá Adébóyè, àwọn chọ́ọ̀chì Kúmúyè àti ìyá àdúrà ìyá mi dáadáa. The end of Nigeria láwà. But topic tí mò ń lò lórí ẹ̀ tí mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká má kúrò lórí topic yẹn ó ní pé and that is ọ̀dọ̀ Délé Fárótì mi mo ti pick yẹn but àwa náà ti mọ̀ pé ṣe rí àwọn Biafra nísìnyí ní táwọn ṣe ni pé àwọn ti prepare pé tó bá ti di gas government in exile ti wà ṣàwa náà táwọn bá tẹ̀ tí ní government in exile mo expect pé look bí ṣe máa ń sọ èmi ò ń ṣe leader fún movement yìí but I am a leader within my own Koiki Media tí bá dẹ̀ ti wọ brand mi báyìí mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí bá sọ lórí Koiki Media ló dúró lé òun ṣe lórí Ìtẹ́ Ìgbòho ní kí wá sọ àbí bàbá Akintoye mo kí ẹ Bambo Entertainment. So what next after the D-Day? Tí Nàìjíríà bá ṣe gbàs lẹ́nìí, kí ni àwa máa prepare fún? Because gbàs máa wá, tí kò bá wá a máa force kó wá. Àwa kan máa force bí Amẹ́ríkà náà ṣe lọ́ ṣe gbàs káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé tó ń lo gbàs gbogbo alamọ General Dombozo ta ló gbọ́ program yẹn ní last year. Àwọn lọ train àwọn general yẹn, àwọn lọ padà overthrow ni ó dà pé Guinea Conakry àbí kankan. Ẹ rántí core value, ẹ rántí fídíò yẹn. How many of you remember? Mo kí ẹ Bambo. Àwọn tó ń gbé àwọn olórin wa Amẹ́ríkà nìyẹn. Ta ló ń bọ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà? Òkú ìyàwó ẹ̀ á ti gba káwọ́ anyway. Níta bá mọ̀ ṣe náà làwọn máa ṣe. Kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ. Our president, Axoba. So, in Timon Pylon ni pé, we must plan ahead for the collapse of Nigeria. Because if the country collapse and they prepare for, and that is a meeting from America. In 2021, I was only given 5 minutes to do my presentation. But the worry of America is that check tabak country kò ní sáwọn tó ń pè ní warlord. Because if you end up having warlord in the breakup of the country, they break it in a smooth way, it will be problem. And that is the worry of America, not Britain, because Britain expect where katikpin. So let's go back quickly and read more about the Royal Niger Company. As we've said already, 15 years from 1914 to 1929, this company now became what we call UAC, United Africa Company, which came under the control of Unilever. Unilever, as we know, is a multinational fast-moving consumer goods. Our consume what they can produce. So Unilever will be bringing everything that check money biscuit in London. Ọmọ inú àti Bambo. Àjọgbélé kò ní. Ọmọ àdúgbò ni wá. Màmá tẹ̀ wà l'Amẹ́ríkà, màmá tẹ̀ ní wà ní UK. Ṣàkẹ́ máa ń jẹ biscuit. Clement Mokembe. Can the Yoruba nation form a passive semi-government in exile in place? Because una go need them, and that's exactly what the Biafra are doing. Because they know that as soon as everything goes collapse, you must have the government in place to take charge of everything. So what the West were doing for us is they were bombarding us with their finishing. Then Britain was an industrialist. It was an industrial country. But then in this thing, they don't produce jack shit. Orí wọn lọ́kàn lò nísìnyí. Orí wọn tó fi ń jalè káàkiri. Orí wọn báyìí bí orí Koiki Media. Tó bá náà wọn expert. So what they were doing for us then was, instead of them to allow the production of things, not that they were not producing things in Nigeria, but the major product of what we were consuming were brought from outside the UK. They were bringing biscuit, chocolate biscuit, butter, everything. They were bombarding us. And we thought it was a good thing. But in the long run, it's affecting every Nigerian today. That is why you're saying initial war. That is why you're struggling, because the country did not produce and prepare for the production for over 60-something years. Amara complex. Actually, Mara complex don't be wala tita. When we should awala lagbado, ṣe bá ole ká máa produce a complex. Awale ani àgbàdo, but we were unable to produce nothing. We were consuming. Wọ́n kàn ṣe àwọn nǹkan kékeré. Àwọn nǹkan tó ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà yẹn náà, tó máa ń ṣe bọ́ǹfìtà. Majority of the things tó máa lò, wọ́n máa gbé wá láti ta ni. Báwo ló ṣe máa import butter wá sínú Nigeria? And we still do it to date. I have family that went to Nigeria during this break of summer. Ó kó butter lọ sílé. Ṣé ẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀? Bí àṣà sister mi. Tó jẹ́ kí butter, but nígbà tó yẹ pé màálù òfò táwọn yẹn kó káàkiri, a lè yọ butter kúrò lára wọn. Wọ́n ti gbẹ, wọ́n ti fi wọ́n rìn káàkiri. And you expect the country to develop, and then this Rwanda, this bomb bastard ọmọ Yorùbá sọ fún wa pé àtẹ̀mọ̀ bí Yorùbá ni bí àwọn òṣèkiri ní àbúwọ́dà, I don't even know. Ìyẹn Bismarck Riwani, only Tinubu will make Nigeria better by 2026 with about 400 billion. Kódà, it will be the sub-Saharan Africa. Gbogbo tí Obama pa fún wa. When they keep telling you the most populous black nation, if they born you well, go Benin Republic now and see how you'll be maltreated, not inside Benin, but between the border. Try to go there, it will be like you want to go see Bambo of America. Then tó fẹ́ gba visa ni. Imagine we want to go to Benin Republic and we are scared of our life. Ibẹ̀ ló fẹ́ pa Professor Moyosi. The man don smart now. When he said he was going to be in Ile-Ife, not for this event, I fẹ́ ṣe ní Monday, I was on his page. And I started reading, I said, Baba, you don't know Nigeria. And I saw it, he said, virtual. You don't go Nigeria, Baba, ti gbọ́n. Professor Moyo, you forget that man, where they won't keep for Benin Republic, that came to Nigeria. He hasn't been to Nigeria since 1980. Àwọn tó ti lọ tipẹ́tipẹ́. So Baba yẹn ti gbọ́n nísìn, no more go direct. He's doing everything virtual now. So he's going to be doing a symposium about IFA or something. So the reason why every one of you, jáde ní university, I am a graduate, what do you do? Content creator. Everybody ṣe gbogbo ẹni gbọdọ̀ máa ṣe content creator. So Unilever was a PLC. It's a British multinational fast-moving consumer goods company that was founded on the 2nd of September 1929 to feed Nigeria. Alex Mamu, Onigenla Mukie. So the British Unilever was used to feed us. And when they realized that I am party smart there, Oya Dangote, Oya take over, BUA take over. Oya Okoya, Ewo ni wọ́n máa ṣe kúlà, Eleganza, Oya take over. And that is why, even though I disagree with some of his views now against Baba Akintoye, Chief Tola Dini, a very intelligent man, but for him to be lambasting Baba Akintoye, I don't want to curse him, but again, but he says, and I quote, you make Abiola, you look for somebody like Abiola, make him big, make him a billionaire. And that's what the Fulani have done. Make them a billionaire and they shut their mouth out. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo fídíò kan tí mo tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ rí lọ́dọ̀ Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bobby. I saw it on Sowore as well. How Pastor Tunde Bakari, I met him here in London some few years back. Ní Tottenham. I went to cover the event. I didn't get paid for that. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó sọ ní bíbá. After this one, I was lọ sọ́dọ̀ Dele Farotimi. This, according to Sowore, says I called 13 hours ago. I can't believe that Pastor Tunde Bakari once said this word about starting a revolution from the church. So what happened? He became dead Buhari or alive Buhari vice president under their campaign trail in CPC. And it's the same pastor that told us that when he got into the vehicle, he realized that there was no gearbox, there was no steering, everything was there. He was thinking, how is Buhari been driving this vehicle? That is the way they've driven Nigeria, and that is why we must end Nigeria. And the end of Nigeria is coming, but the Yorubas, the Biafra are already preparing for that, but we, the Yorubas, must also prepare for the next phase of the collapse of Nigeria. And Dele Farotimi said it in his broadcast this morning. So I'm going to try and see where exactly he started that conversation while we are listening to this. So my plug the airport, Miss City, just to pick on Dele Farotimi, so that we are not going to be, because it's 34 minutes, I can't play all the 34 minutes. So if you're new to this platform, share the program and invite your friends and family. My name is Olami Koiki. Mo kí gbogbo yín pastors ẹ̀yin wòlíì, gbogbo yín babaláwo tẹ́ ń pè wá, gbogbo yín pátápátá ni mo kí gbogbo yín àyìn àfáà tó yẹ pé iṣẹ́ tí ni pé ẹ máa bẹ Ọlọ́run pé àsìkò táwa iṣẹ́ ìran Yorùbá máa bọ́ nínú wàhálà. Àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀ sí ní bíbà. Ní tó bá wọ̀n ẹ̀ tẹ́ máa jẹjẹ̀ sìn, àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀jẹ̀ sí ní bíbà. Freedom là ń fẹ́. So let's listen to this. This is Pastor Tunde Bakari some years back. All of a sudden now, you don't change now.
All general overseers must go to prison. I am not joking. I said so in the open many years ago during the convention of Mike Okongo. I said, lock Adeboye up, lock Kui up.
Èmi ò tẹ́ gbọ́ báyìí. A máa play Dele Farotimi ní sí mo fẹ́ mọ ibi tó ti tó sọ. Did you hear what Pastor Bakari said there? Lock Adeboye up. Lock Kumi up. Maybe it's still the same thing that should happen. Should we say that they should lock them up? It becomes so. Pastor Tunde Bakari ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Only lock everybody up, including himself. If you don't lock us up, Nigeria is going nowhere. King B1212 Mukia. Dash Mayor Mukia. If you don't lock them up, that is what Pastor Bakari is saying. Only lock every one of them up. If you don't lock them up, you're going nowhere. Yama Jebu going. Let's listen more.
All general overseers must go to prison. I am not joking. I said so in the open many years ago during the convention of Mike Okongo. I said, lock Adeboye up, lock Kui up, lock Orisaka for up, lock me up also. By the time we finish, Nigeria will change. I have a reason for saying so. In 1 Kings chapter 4, I know I'll be quoted tomorrow. I'm ready for their war. If the revolution does not begin in the church, it cannot spread. If it does not begin in the mosque, it cannot spread. I am telling you, except those institutions change, Nigeria will never change. They control the soul and minds of millions of people. They stone him to death. Yes. Beginning from your church and your mosque. Ask your leaders, where are they getting the money they are spending lavishly for? If it's not from the contribution of the saints who read from Abuja, next service, take stones to church.
So when I sit here and some of you are angry with my utterances, but you are not angry with the utterances of Pastor Tunde Bakari that said, the next time you are going to church, make sure you have big stone and stone your pastor to death. Hey, Binusi, because he's a man of God. Me, I'm not a man of God. Koiki, you can't be talking like that now on social media. You can't be saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But Pastor Tunde Bakari has the right to say that. That next time Teba Losi Church, because most of the money they are getting is come. We saw, Baba Adeboye's son got contract from Abuja, or Kaduna rather, 8 billion naira. Hallelujah. So you want us to continue to feed Nigeria, Abi? They're hungry again. And they need to come and eat quick now. So let's finish the part of Pastor Tunde Bakari. This is Pastor Tunde Bakari saying, take stone to church and stone them to death. Because they are criminals. All your GOs. No be me say now Pastor Tunde Bakari talk out.
All general overseers must go to prison. I am not joking. I said so in the open many years ago during the convention of Mike Okongo. I said, lock Adeboye up, lock Kui up, lock Orisaka for up, lock me up also. By the time we finish, Nigeria will change. I have a reason for saying so. In 1 Kings chapter 4, I know I'll be quoted tomorrow. I'm ready for their war. If the revolution does not begin in the church, it cannot spread. If it does not begin in the mosque, it cannot spread. I am telling you, except those institutions change, Nigeria will never change. They control the soul and minds of millions of people. They stone him to death. Yes. Beginning from your church and your mosque. Ask your leaders, where are they getting the money they are spending lavishly for? If it's not from the contribution of the saints who read from Abuja, next service, take stones to church. Let the revolution begin. Parents must be accountable to their children and carry the revolution to Obasanjo's gate. Carry the revolution to all these men who are oppressing us. I think December is too late. I think January is too far. I challenge you to rise. I challenge you to fight. I challenge you that the revolution will begin. In any form or any way that will push these oppressors out of our line, we are saying no to corruption, no to oppression. Let the revolution begin. Problem.
Imagine that is a pastor. I'm going to download that video now. So I'm low. I've got where Dele Farotimi started. It started from 17 minutes. But I'll start from this, the beginning. So first, let's take you to this and then prepare us again. Tomorrow, if you're not aware, it's all happening at Ile-Ife, where the Yoruba National Day is happening. We expect many of you at home to attend this lovely event. They'll be talking about the Kiriji War after 136 years. We will also be discussing on that symposium the 201 years after the Fulani invasion. So it is important that everyone in Nigeria to attend this very, very important, program. Look, my children are just eating now. This is exactly what I want from many of the children that are Yorubas and those that are not Yorubas in Nigeria. They're eating, they're having their dinner, with big, meat. And even me, when I was in Nigeria there, they don't give you meat. You have to finish the food before you get meat, Now this one, they put meat inside their plate. I don't even know why they give them two, big meat like this. So that is exactly how you should be enjoying your life. But apparently, it has been a miserable life and suffering and smiling, like Fela and Nicola Kokuti said. And if we do not end it, if you don't end Nigeria, Nigeria will finally end you. So again, Unity Day, please do so and let us remember that Lugard died long time ago. I've taken you to Lugard house before. It's not the first time I've been there. And if you're still expecting, the Lugard project to continue, is because you are listening to these criminals that are politicians like this one calling himself, Bajabio Mole. Let me bring that to you. Firstly, bear with me because I want to download the video that we just watched right now quickly so that I can have it in my archive so that we can continue to remind you that Pastor Tunde Bakari said, stone them to die. So again, there's still a lot to cover. There's still a lot to discuss. My name is Olami Koiki. This is Koiki Media. As we continue, the right to self-determination is an inalienable right. Don't let anybody fool you that what we are discussing here, doesn't have a substance. It has a lot of substance, and the end of Nigeria will be witnessed by you and me. Let's listen to Bajabia Omole to start with again.
The weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight of Nigeria. The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him.
There is no land called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves. We are not Nigerian. Okay, where is Nigeria? Where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself, because the people who want to be that Nigeria had not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
The welfare of millions of people for generations to come
may be affected by the wisdom which we here display. If Nigerian leaders and our British partners are to prove themselves worthy of their trust, now is the time for us solemnly and truly to dedicate ourselves to seeking the greatest good of the greatest number of our people in Nigeria.
Much indeed.
Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ àti gbọ́. 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 Ó tún yá ṣe bàbá, ṣe Buhari, ṣe bàbá, ṣe Buhari, ṣe bàbá, ṣe Buhari.
It is not in their hands because you know what? Power belongs to the people. Anything we want is what we're going to get.
Once again, I want to ask this. Do you think this dream is realizable without a war? And are you prepared to fight another war?
This dream can be realized without a war. And let me put it this way, as soon as the people, the various ethnic groups in Nigeria realize what Nigeria means to each and every ethnic group, they will subscribe to our position. So it is realizable without a war. Before the white man came, let me ask you this, because it's an interview, which means you can ask me questions and I can ask you. Before the white man came, was there any Nigeria? Before the white man came, did Nigeria exist? It's a simple question that I'm asking you. Did Nigeria exist before?
It didn't, no.
It didn't exist. Then why are African people, black people dying over something that they did not create? Did any Yoruba man create Nigeria? The answer is no. No Igbo man created Nigeria. No Hausa man did. No Fulani man did. No Kanuri man did. No Jukun man did. When you come to Nigeria, it's always a debate about it is our turn. It is our turn. It is our turn to rule. Now, there are over 250 main ethnic groups in Nigeria. If you keep rotating the presidency every 8 years to each and every ethnic group, times 8 by 250. How many years are you going to get? So some people will die many times over. They will reincarnate many times over. The presidency hasn't come to them. Nigeria is a joke and an absolute mess. It was not created by black people. Therefore, it cannot be sustained by black people.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. And there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
Mo kàn fún yín láwọn tester so that by the time we play the next video from Dele Farotimi Egbon, you will then understand that, okay, let's first listen at the beginning, then I'm going to move it to 17 minutes. So let's listen to it together.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọjọ́ ń lọ, ayé le. Ṣe èyí tó ṣe, ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọjọ́ ń lọ, èyí tó bá ṣe la ó ròyìn. Ṣe èyí tó ṣe, ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọjọ́ ń lọ. The house is threatening to collapse all around our ears. When you consider the fact that every family who is able to have done everything they can to send their children out of Nigeria, it's no longer about they are going to schools. No, it's about escaping the country.
When you consider the fact that each and every one of those who rule Nigeria, they all carry second passports. They have homes abroad. They're ready to go like that. The way they are even running the country is suggestive of a people who are in a hurry to have the house collapse so that they don't need to account for their crimes. So it says that there is an urgency to our circumstances. Our situation demands that we do something now. We just can't continue to fast and pray or hope that something would happen or continue to.
So what do we do now? We must do something now. We must start a crisis. We must kick something and allow the country to fall apart. But we must be prepared to sacrifice. Because if you start anything, look, all these youth that came out and they are saying, oh, end bad governance. When they are truly ready, they will make sure that police does not take anybody. Soldier does not take anybody. Because you cannot still say, oh, you are going to go and look for a court to be determined whether you'll be in prison. When Tinubu should be in prison himself, when Yaya Bello should be in prison, Wike should be in prison, and the innocent Nigerians are kept in the prison. That means you are not ready. In Yoruba, so you want the IGBOHO and every one of us to come out, and then you are not ready. We must all be ready for the madness. That's it. And I love the way his energy is coming up now. When I was here 3 years ago, saying, look, this country is finished. I want you in sorrow parables. Now, what in sorrow clearly that Danisi, and what in Jadi that Danisi. This is daily parody. Nígbà tẹ́mi sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká end Nigeria máa end gbogbo wa. Tinubu ló yẹ kó wà ní prison. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń jáde pé ẹ fẹ́ protest. Ẹ̀yin ti wọ́n Nigeria. Your protest should be that nobody, police will take anybody. If they try it, you will end Nigeria from there. But you don't want it. You are still going to be kidnapped and then take to the court, the kangaroo court, the court that cannot take Wike to court, the court that cannot do justice for all these criminal politicians. They will now be taking it. It's called intimidation. You must not allow that intimidation to happen. And that is what we are saying to you. We will not support you for what you are doing, but we will encourage you to pull out because we need all the crises to occur in Nigeria. That is my prayer every day. But if you are still allowing Tinubu government to take you to court, you are as stupid as nothing because Tinubu was fighting as at the time nobody took him to court. He ran out of Nigeria because he doesn't want to be killed. So now you hear the video crying his eyes yesterday. Hey, they don't read INEC. INEC is it. So he just know that INEC is a most of it, that crisis, our Yoruba nation. Our country need to take advantage of any slightest thing. We take advantage of it. That's all we need to do. And we must prepare for the plan that when it's about to collapse, we should make sure that nobody create any kind of warlord, not even for Wikimedia. We must not allow and tolerate any warlord. We must set up the government quickly and then start what we call a proper system that works for every Yoruba sons and daughters. And the only thing you can first do is to secure your border. Because that is when Oyibo people will be sending all kind of weapons so that they will create warlord. That's what they're going to do. Because the West will create the warlord among you. They will bring another fraction to be fighting you, and it will end up like Rwanda, and a lot of people will die. And for us to avoid that, we must prepare the minds of ordinary Yoruba man that Tabati Devita and Deyo are because the end is good for us. Because right now the end is not good. Look at how how they are putting people into homeless by destroying. They say shanty. Have you given them a normal house to live in the first place? Why do you think people want to live in shanty if the government has provided the normal accommodation for them? A lot of people cannot live in their state. That is why they're coming to Lagos. That maybe they will survive. But they realize that Lagos is expensive. Just like London is expensive, New York is expensive. So, anytime bad governance, you are bad governance, and they are taking you to court. Which kind of court? You will not allow such to happen. The emotions of our Yoruba nation campaigners. Our Yoruba nation. Just by asking my play daily parody. mo kàn ń try láti ṣe àlàyé díẹ̀ lé lórí ni that abá ti dé orí M1 kò sí àní-àní kankan mọ́ because a lè wà lórí M1 kíyàn kan ṣètò máa pè wá padà sẹ́yìn kí la fẹ́ máa pè wá padà fún it's a waste of time so we must prepare you first for what is about to come on because it's going to happen. Gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ń wò tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní gbogbo àgbáyé nǹkan kan ló máa trigger nǹkan kan ló ń trigger nǹkan kan. So bí ilé tí Délé Fárótìmí sọ ó lè trigger anything bí èyí tẹ́mi sọ ló máa trigger bí èyí tí Ìgbòho máa sọ ló máa trigger bí èyí tí Samuel Ekpa máa sọ ló máa trigger bóyá èyí tí àwọn Boko Haram gan máa ṣe ló máa trigger wa nǹkan kan máa trigger tó dìgbà tí Boko Haram bá wọlé tó pa gbogbo yín sínú ibi tẹ́ ti ń ṣe pátí ìgbà ilẹ̀ ara yín máa wá ṣe pé Koiki jọ ẹgbà wá o àwọn ò fẹ́ kó dé stage yẹn la ṣe ń pariwo nísìnyí pé we saw Zamfara governor telling us that òun mọ àwọn Boko Haram àwọn ọmọ ilé wọn àwọn ọmọ bàbá wọn àwọn ọmọ ìyá wọn irú jágbàjàgbà wo nìyẹn. So let's move swiftly because we are already 3 hours and I've not even pushed as much as I would love to.
Bellyache, like I'm bellyaching, we can't continue like that. Something has to give.
Something has to give. What are you ready to give is the question. Okay, you can't go home to fight. Fair enough. Not everybody will have to go to Nigeria. But what are you ready to give? But are you ready to sacrifice? Oh, you don't want to sacrifice. You just want that country to pop up from the moon and come downstairs. No. When we enter the M1 motorway, nobody will call us again. No, not anybody. So that time, tó bá jẹ́ pé àwa 10,000 la bá ti bọ́ sórí M1 yẹn, àwa 10,000 yẹn la bá máa lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. And we must be ready for whatever the consequence will happen. Ọlọ́run máa fi ṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ wa lórí M1. Tá bá ti bọ́ sórí M1 yẹn báyìí, orí M1 yẹn la máa gbà lọ, la máa gbà lọ, tá máa fi dé the end of the M1 tó máa gbé mi dé Manchester. You are allowing them to take you to Kangaroo Court and you say you are still going to come out again in October, fearless October. What is the purpose of all that? You shut down the whole system. Don't wait for Ajero. Ajero is a bomb bastard. Ó ti gbowó lọ́wọ́ Tinubu. Gbogbo ìtọ́kàn play a game ni. Tinubu is a game master. Bàbá wèrè ni. Ajero, we go stop you for airport o, we go disrespect you, we go punch you. Ajero ni okay, how much you go give me? Ajero ti gbowó. So you are waiting for the president of the NLC, that bastard man that have taken money. Ó ti gbowó. You all and myself. But I was so end bad governance. Okay, if you end bad governance, you want Shetima to come in. Are you stupid? Or you want Peter Obi to come in? No, we don't want end bad government. Let everybody go back to their territory. Go back to your territory, we go back to our territory. Don't sort yourself out in Biafra land. We sort ourselves out in Yoruba land, and then we will allow you to come in, but we must fingerprint you. Oh, you don't want that. Criminals. Because àwọn yìí money yẹn gbogbo wọn yẹn everybody go still run Obi Kubana gbogbo wọn yẹn chief priest everybody go run when the time comes ebi mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ everybody go run even Davido go run away Ọlọ́run ṣe kúkú ní American passport ó máa sá lọ kò tí ì dojú kókó ni kò tí ì dojú kókó tàbá ti bọ́ sórí M1 yẹn every one of them gbogbo máa yá dànù everybody máa yá dànù ni everybody máa yá dànù go and look at what happened in Bangladesh and that's exactly what he's saying. Délé Fárótìmí ebi nǹkan tí mo ti ń sọ láti 4 years òun ṣe wà ẹ̀gbọ́n ìṣe wà ń sọ nísìn 4 years lèmi ti ń pariwo pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ lélẹ́yìí tá máa fi lọ lélẹ́yìí. Don't expect Baba Akintoye to be telling you that. Baba Akintoye is only telling you that without crisis, United Nations is not coming to rescue anybody. It is called self-determination. Nobody gives it for free. You have to fight to get it. If you like, stay on Twitter, stay on TikTok. He's not going to get it. What we need is we will be on the territory. Don't the territory that's matter. You got to give something to take something. You don't want to give. You just want to take. That's exactly what Délé Fárótìmí said. This was his broadcast for Sunday. Let's go further back into it.
Something simply had to give. And it reminds me, about a couple of years ago, way before the election, maybe like 2022, early 2022 or late 2021, I attended a function organized by the CDHR at its office at ADEBANJI. And something struck me. I was speaking to a conscious crowd comprising largely of the upper crust of Nigeria's conscious cadres, Revolution Now, Friends, CDHR, apparatchiks, all kind of socialist organizations were represented. What you would expect and believe to be the conscious, upper conscious, super conscious layer. And I noticed that nobody really disagreed with the diagnosis. But everybody was waiting to be told the solution. And my speech fell short of offering solutions. It wasn't because I didn't have an idea or ideas as to what the solutions were, but it was because I had imagined at the time that we could vote our way out of this mess. I had imagined that our votes would count. I had imagined that the judiciary would not be as brazenly corrupt and lost as it proved to be. I had imagined that we could somehow have a revolution through the ballot box.
You see, this is how they've been confusing a lot of people back home. They are imagined. When something is illusion, there's difference between the word imagine and illusion. Let's look at the English dictionary. And you're right, Clement. That man will call himself. He's not interested in self-determination. He's not interested in the breakup of Nigeria. It's just a time waster. So now let's look for imaginary. Imaginary. Let's go and look for that meaning. Imagine. Let's even look at imagine. What does it mean? So the word
Imagine.
From a mental image or concept, she imagined him at his desk. No. So olówó kan wá gbowó fún ẹ. Tó bá tẹ̀ máa gbowó fún ẹ, ò ní ṣe wàhálà. Ò ní wá bó ṣe máa rí olówó yẹn. So a lot of Yoruba people, a lot of Nigerians are imagining. My church has prayed today. Our prayer means that, in the mosque, at Shasalatu, Nigeria will just gaga. Imagine. I disagree with that. That is the word. Tidele Paroti Milo. I have been telling you that it is called illusion. Let's go and look for the word illusion and find out the different meaning to this. Illusion. The word
illusion.
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 Illusion means an instance of a wrong or misinterpreted perception of a sensory experience. You go to see that thing, go be like water, but when you get closer, this one will be water. How can we have crude oil and you're suffering? And Tinubu family go set up business for a country that is not even up to 1 million. Then let's bring down this country and put crisis into it. And let's make it the end of, so that nobody will move any crude oil out of Lagos. Because once you move crude oil flat to Lagos, we are stupid people that we don't know what to do. But we must prepare for the plan ahead. Stop the crude oil from moving from Apapa. Shut down the whole of Apapa for 10 days. Nothing moved out, nothing moved in. All the consumption, nothing comes in. Everything gets destroyed from their ship. Because when they cannot bring it in, it's either they go and dump it in another African country. Do you know how many ships is landing in Nigeria on a daily basis in Lagos State? Let's shut Apapa down for 10 days and let them see the sweat and the heat that you are feeling every day. But you don't want that. Idiot all over the place. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fún wọn ní heat yẹn táwọn náà kọ́kọ́ mọ̀ pé yes, look, they are serious. When the shipping company around the world can feel the energy that nothing is going into Nigeria, they will understand that we are serious. We can have business with them, when we decide when we country set up its own government. But for now, nothing moves into that shipping line, into Apapa. We stop everything coming into Apapa for 10 days, just 10 days alone. And you will see the impact of the global world talking about Nigeria. And they'll be asking questions. What is going on there? Because the big people that own those shipping lines will be questioning why their ship is not landing in Nigeria with millions of dollars of goods that they're consuming to you when we should be producing those goods in the first place. Idiots all over the place. So it's called illusion. So something that deceives. So when they use the word illusion, it is called something that deceives. Etan in Nigeria. It go better. We have been doing that since our forefathers. But nígbà tó ti ní access to Facebook, idiot. Ìwọ náà ti ní access to Facebook. So you think that because you have access to Facebook, it means anything. It doesn't mean nothing to these people. So because you have access to Facebook with 10 kobo data that you put on it, illusion. Something, Nigeria, only something here that deceives by producing a false, or misleading impression of reality. Pé ó máa da, ẹ máa gbádùn, ayé yín máa sunwọ̀n, ayé yín kankan ò ní sunwọ̀n, ìyàlẹ̀ máa jẹ kú, ó ní rí hospital lọ, ikú máa wọlé pa ẹni. Because inú ilé ẹ̀ ló yẹ kí doctor ti wá treat ẹ àbí kí ambulance ti wá gbé ẹ, òun ló ń gbọ́ tán lọ yẹn. Àmọ́ bí afáyà ni bí ambulance ni bí ọlọ́pàá ni kọ́dún mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ni. Did you hear the sound? That is exactly what you need. But illusion ò ní jẹ́ kó possible. Because you are waiting for all these criminal politicians to tell you we will transform Nigeria. They are working on it. It's called illusion. Something that deceives by producing. So that is when Dele Parotim is using the word imaginary. There's nothing called imaginary. They cannot imagine something that the foundation was faulty. When British rigged the first election in 1956, 1950, when they were going in 1959, the first ever election in Nigeria. So he's now talking about one election that they cannot rig. What is the outcome of your Edo? APC won, Abi. So you think that is an election. So let's go back to Dele Parotimi. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to push it to 17 minutes or 16 because you can go and watch it later. It's just under 30 minutes. So what we're going to do, we're moving it from 15 minutes again, and let's listen from there. Once again, my name is Olami Koiki. If you want to support this organization, because we are organization, how you can do so is very simple. The details have been put out, and we appreciate many of you that continue to say Koiki. We will be there to support this organization so that it doesn't collapse, because the collapse of this kind of organization will have impact in the truth and the reality. So nobody's going to tell you the truth from channels, television. Mamadou, that guy, is part of the government. TVC is owned by Tinubu, controlled. Nation newspaper is owned by Tinubu, and the rest of all this brown envelope. So you need this kind of platform to challenge and talk to them, and hopefully one day, which is not going to be long, the whole thing will fall apart. But we must prepare and plan ahead for the collapse of Nigeria. That is the most important part I want you to take home tonight. Yoruba must plan well ahead for the collapse of Nigeria. And that is the reason why I'm using that topic. I gotta plan ahead because the collapse of Nigeria is getting closer. Let's go back to Dele Parotimi.
We are where we are by design. Those who profit from where we are not likely to ever change anything unless we change what we are doing, change the way we perceive some of these issues. If we took away the ethno-religious blinkers and see it for what it really is, what it simply means is that your enslaver just happens to speak your language and actually answers the same names as you are, but he is not really related to you, because the diarrhea of the monkey is not the concern of the baboon. To save a people, you must be related to them. You must understand that the people pretending to rule the country are actually benefiting from his ruination. So draw the line Identify the common interests. Don't wait until we are picked up one by one, because the reality is that when you tolerate injustice or evil against one man or a group of people, you are legitimizing it for when it should be employed against you. Remember, those who profit by these divisions and oppression are not divided. Joe Igbokwe, he will stroll into Tinubu's space before someone like me or you, Bodayekini, would ever find your way anywhere near his space. He not send your ethnicity, it's about interest. You are the ones who are busy fighting over ethnicity, over religion. Pastor Pikin, they marry Imam daughter. Imam daughter, they marry Pastor Pikin. Now they remember race. Them not send race. They not send ethnicity. They not send your religion. If you know hear English, make you hear this one. They not send you. Now you suppose send yourself. Not find who not find you. Find the person where they feel the same affliction where you they feel. Now, waiting you they find where you won't deny to the next man. Egbon, what is it really that benefits you that you believe that the next man should not have on account of his ethnicity or religion? Find the common purposes, draw the line, because if you don't draw these lines, very soon the capacity to draw lines are going to be taken away, either by death or by happenstance. There is the urgency of now. You don't have forever. Every day things are growing progressively worse in Nigeria. If you are holding any savings, which you are unlikely to have because everybody has become existential. But if you are
Our Grace, Olushota. So you can see that the energy that we have been telling every one of us for 4 years to endorse a Yoruba nation. No. For Yoruba nation. For Yoruba nation. Yoruba nation call anything. And at the end of the day, we have all paid the price. And we are still paying the price because Tinubu has nothing to offer. Muki Abdullahi, Muki Temilori, Mix LR, Ogumolani, only God knows how many people have bastard don't block for X pre and post election time. I think Dele Farotimi is a saboteur. Mr. Adetutu Oshiloye. So I just wanted to understand his own point from where I said Nigeria is an illusion. There's not imaginary about it. Illusion means Europe, a tongue. So we need to disorganize that system so that I affect and will not. But we must prepare for whatever consequence might happen and the collapse. We must plan ahead. So I'm going to move it a little bit again and just speak maybe another few minutes and then we'll come out of this one.
And I made it very clear what was to come with the Buhari regime. And it happened exactly as I told you it would happen. Over the years, I have been consistently right. And you all have been consistently wrong. Everything I have told you would happen have happened. Each and every one of them. And you still want to be arguing the solution to the problems that I told you were coming after you ignored all the warnings I gave you, and you want me to start debating the solutions to the problems you ignored. How stupid can you believe that I am? Let me close by sharing something with you. It was my grandma that taught me this. That does not look insane. But having identified the insane, they proceed to go arguing with.
So that has been Dele Farotimi, with his own analysis about Nigeria. We cannot continue to be doing analysis around Nigeria. What we need to be talking about is how we end and come out completely and have the right to self-determination, which is an inalienable right, and nobody should fool you that that is not what we need right now. What we need is exactly, self-determination. determination. Moki Bubuale Konsi, we thank you so much for staying tuned. We still have a few more areas I want us to cover. So we've talked about Daily Faro TV. I couldn't find the video about where the governor of Zamfara was talking, but hopefully we will work that video out some other time. But we know that the whole Boko Haram is not something that cannot be resolved, but prefer to have it not to be resolved. And so Moki Bubuale Konsi, Moki Mamsimi now Moki Bubomo Odua Nileko we Akopale not to no see about Alaye. All right, I want to talk quickly about one more area. This man that was picked up by, just like we had the issue where some of you disagree that the Biafra government in exile, is not worth working with. There was a pilot that flew into an unknown area. Well, not literally that is not known. So what I'm going to show you now is part of what I watched when I was at my mom's house yesterday. So let me first remind you all the time that I am not the only media around the world that always say, look, support and all that. Like I always said, the Guardian newspaper in the UK does the same thing, just like I do. So now, New Zealand pilot was held captive in the West Papua for 19 months. Very happy after being freed. Why am I bringing this up? We saw a Yoruba military that was released by the Biafra government in exile, and I've been speaking with the family, and the guy is still recovering. And then we hope that the rest of the Yoruba military guys in the Nigerian army will understand that going into that territory means that you are looking for trouble. And we all know what is going to be the end between the Biafra Liberation Army and the Biafra government in exile and the federal government of Nigeria. Because we're talking about two countries now. You might say, shut up, there's nothing called, it's two countries running in Nigeria right now, parallel. It's just a matter of when everything will fall apart. So, Kilo Shele, Tele Filo Hasinu, that part of the world, Philip Maitens says he's looking forward to being reunited with family after being released by the rebels in the region. The Biafra are not rebels, but I'm just trying to explain to us that this one that the Biafra government released this Nigerian Yoruba military guy was a good gesture as against this one that spent 19 months. Do you know what 19 months is? That's almost 2 years. Lulu, Lodawon, Tomudani. So he was a pilot, according to the news. He's a New Zealand pilot. Philip, I will just call him that. Says he was looking forward. His release followed an offer of terms made this week by the rebels in the region. Speaking at a press conference, Philip said, today, I have been freed. I am very happy that shortly I will be able to go home and meet my family. Thank you, everybody who helped me today. When IGBOHO came out and thanking, the Biafra government in next time, so some Yoruba people were cringe. IGBOHO, because you don't understand how diplomacy and alliances work. According to Indonesia Metro TV, an earlier show Philip speaking tearfully to his family by the telephone. Philip did not appear to be suffering from post-traumatic stress, although he had lost a lot of weight because he would be in the forest. He would have been in the forest. The New Zealand Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, said on the X he was grateful that Philip had been released. My appreciation to all those in Indonesia and the New Zealand who have supported this positive outcome for Philip and his family, according to the New Zealand. Philip was a former, this is how he was, kidnapped. Philip, a former Jetstar pilot, was taken hostage by the West Papua National Liberation Army. Nigeria doesn't know what is about to start with them as well. You cannot defeat an ideology. It's better you discuss with them, you sit with them, so that you can resolve matters It's just unfortunate that I couldn't get exactly, where Dele Farotimi was having that conversation about, resolving the issue of Nigeria, but I'll just leave it. You can go and watch it yourself. So what you're watching right now, in terms of screen, these are also known as the National Liberation Army of the Papua, the National Liberation Army. And what are they? Who are they? The National Liberation Army is a Marxist-Leninist guerrilla insurgency group. You don't fight government. No, you fight. They'll buy every one of you to the Instagram. Be careful because of some of the words I've been using so that they don't take it down. They already took down my Koiki Media, so we only have one Instagram left. So we got to manage it. And imagine that this one has been set up as far back as 4th of July 1964. This National Liberation Army. So when some of you say, hey, Biafra doesn't have the right to set up army, who told you that? When the time comes, the Yoruba will set up their own. When the right time comes, we will set up our own Yoruba army to defend our territory. And they will have their own weapon. Because you can't use stick to fight. Especially when invaders are coming in. You've got to have a full weapon. So when some of you are sitting under your Twitter stupid space, idiot Yoruba people, come and call me say, we had you on your program. They are under the program now. Anonymously, they don't want me to know. Don't bastard Yoruba people. I was interviewed one day, question. Oh, you said that you will need 60,000 weapons. What are you going to use it for, Loshi? So, or you want Fulani to kill every one of us before we get weapons? We need weapons to defend ourselves. Idiot. They sit down there, they are killing their brothers, their uncles, their family that are Yoruba people. They don't concern. They sit down there organizing nonsense Twitter space, calling themselves all kind of names. I'm all Loshi. I want jazz. You know, go better for you now. And show you. We're going to need weapons in the near future. And that near future could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next year. We will need weapons to fight, to defend ourselves. Serious weapon, not be toy. Open is stage here, and somebody dear me. Ejeki Tinubu ma lórí kunkun. Bí àṣà Wọlé Ṣóyínká, Professor, Tinubu is olórí kunkun kò ní gbọ́ràn. We go need weapon. Weapon gidi lẹ́gbọ́n lẹ́nu mi. Weapon. Serious weapon. Anywhere in the world you are fighting the government, you're going to need weapon to defend yourself. Serious weapon, let me need. So Boko Haram can have weapon, so we cannot have weapon. No go better for any shorty. Hello, sorry. Ó dùn mí pé mo ní fídíò ẹ lọ́wọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ n wò bóyá mo lè pe ICN TV. I think he has that video. I think he has the video I'm looking at. Tí Dottin sọ̀rọ̀ tí kí ló ń pè. Governor say àwọn mọ̀ wọ́n pé àwọn mọ̀ àwọn terrorist. A máa need weapon gidi. Bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa lówó àwọn bá ṣe máa get it. Ara Nàìjíríà ó ti pa data. Wọ́n sọ pé kọ́lé ó dẹ̀ lè má ní network. Because I know he has used that video. I need to play you that video. I don't know where exactly that video is. Àwọn tí mi ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ àwọn tí mi busy nìsín. Let me leave him alone. You won't fight government. Anywhere you go to fight government, you're going to need weapons. If you don't have weapons, the government kills every single one. That's why we down. That's why you can't. Better than to pay borrow. So now, so why are we bringing this story up? Is because it's almost the same thing that happened. I'm going to come back to the West Papua. I'm sure they're fighting for something. I'm sure they're also fighting. People fight for something. You must fight for something. If you're not fighting for something, you are a dead man or a dead woman in this world. Whether it's for humanitarian purpose, whether it's your college, there's some, that is why Igboho doesn't like come out. Don't defend Yoruba. To see Gani Adams. Gani Adams is in London as I speak to you right now. But Gani Adams told us, Yoruba people are not ready. Igboho said we are ready. We just need the encouragement. We just need people to push a little bit. That's why he's in support. So my question was, Gani Adams is the first person we called on this movement. Only Yoruba people are not ready. You know, ìjà Yorùbá ò ṣe gbé, ìjà ọmọ Yorùbá ò ṣe gbé, kò ṣe jà. Tí ó dìgbà tó bá pa gbogbo wa tán. And it's meant to be the lógun ọ̀fẹ́. So now, this man, tó ń pèrè ẹ̀ ní Philip arákùnrin ó lọ kó sọ́wọ́ àwọn rebels, àwọn tó ń bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà. And at the end of the day, he was captured for 19 months. Do you understand what 19 months is? 19 months lọ fi captured. And I'm sure there will be a lot of things that would have gone through and a lot of internal conversation that they're not going to tell you everything within New Zealand and Indonesia. Now, this is another area that it just occurred to me. Imagine that the government did not lose hope to get him out. I'm talking about his own government. Ìjọba tí eléyìí ti wá, wọ́n ń pè ní New Zealand. Let me even go to that area. How many Nigerians now they inside forest where Tinubu bomb bastard is sleeping in his house with his wife? And many Nigerians are all over, picked up by terrorists that they know, according to, Zamfara state government. They are there, in the forest. As I speak to you right now, tell me that there's no Nigerians that have been kidnapped today, last week, 2 months ago. They're still, the one that we know recently was from Ikorodu. They told that pastor from the CAC or Celestial Church to go and bring 30 million. So that is why we say that you don't have a government, Nijoba, because the New Zealand knew that their citizen is in danger and they don't want him to die, to fight. So they started looking for ways to get him out as quickly as possible so that, his life will not collapse within the hands of the rebels. And that is why we are saying to those of you that doesn't understand the self-determination, it is the indigenous people have the right to self-determination. By the virtue of that right, your government will protect you from terrorists, your government will protect you from having a good economy and cultural development. You will never get such in the present day Nigeria. So that is the reason why we want you to engage and support the Yoruba nation struggle today. So we're going to come back with my full screen and then we're going to start winding down because it's almost 4 hours. From 3 hours, I think that is more than enough for tonight. We'll be back again. And just to finish the week away, that the corruption that we've always talked about, Nigeria will remain a corrupt country and nobody will be able to stop it. There will be intimidation, there will be marginalization, and the end of Nigeria is what everybody should be talking about, not trying to rectify anything through any fraudulent election, because election cannot solve our problem right now. What can solve our problem is the total dissolution of Nigeria. So my name has been Oluwole. You've been enjoying this program. I'm sure you do. Take something out of it. If you can take everything, it will be very good of you. And those of you that are struggling at this very difficult time, we can only pray and hope that things will fall apart and the London Bridge will collapse, which is Nigeria, not the London Bridge here. So Nigeria will collapse and the world is not going to end. Okay? So stop giving yourself headache that Nigeria is not going to collapse. It's going to collapse. It is fragile. We are just shaking it. We need to shake it hard. Shake it hard. Shake it this way. That's it, that song. Like the football that you all watch. And just like they give Anthony Joshua that, give him that punch. I still doesn't believe that that match, is not, it's not a genuine match. I mean, I didn't watch it. But looking at that, I can tell you, don't trust anything in this world again. So, anyway, that's on that note. My name is Oluwole. Thank you so much. If you have joined me for the first time, if you're not joining me for the first time, make sure you tune into this platform, subscribe, follow us, and remember that IGBOHO will be in London, God's willing, for the dinner. If you have not got your ticket, it's calm down. Hey, ticket, no. Nobody's selling ticket at the door. You're only coming in if you have a ticket that you bought. Your receipt is your ticket. For every one of you that bought ticket from me, it's about almost 20 of you from me, I think, if not a little bit more. If you're coming for the dinner, please also get in touch with us so that they can put your name and then have your clothes ready for you for the next day event. So that is on that. For those of you that want your clothes to be sent to you, please get in touch. You have to pay £5. It's not free. It's postage from the Royal Post Office or the Royal Mail. If you have got any agents or Yoruba, ticket each of us, that receipt, but at least you know that you have a ticket. If you don't have a ticket, don't even turn up. You're not going to see Igboho. There's no way. Look, it's not me. That is what the committee has said. But on a Saturday, oh yes, that one is a public event. You will have privilege to see Igboho. But on the day of the dinner, I want to that ticket become they will have full access, to engage with him and see him, for the night. At least, we're all going to be in the same room for at least, 5 hours or so when the event will eventually finish at 12. And then we wanted us to be 6, 7, we wake up, we eat breakfast, and then we all start heading towards Oxford Circus for the BBC broadcasting now. So, ticket, Emma turn up. There will be security, there will be protocol. You will not even get access, to the hotel. But we went to buy a ticket. Whatever is comfortable for you, you will. I am also paying my own ticket for the dinner. It's not free. Even after we have donated from the committee side, we're also putting our money in as well. So nobody's coming in for free. So that is on that. Then also the rally day, let's try and turn up as quickly. It's going to be fun. It's a showcase of who we are and preparing ourselves. So we went there a ticket, I will be communicating with you one at a time. Those of you coming from Birmingham, also arrange, if you're going to be sleeping over in London, arrange Google here, there's no room for anybody. I don't have room in my house. I am also going to be in my house. There's no space for anybody. This is weekend. So especially if anything, but if you're coming for the rally, you can go back the same day. But if you're coming for the dinner and going to be for the rally, definitely you have to stay somewhere. Or if you're just coming for the rally from outside London, you can go back, the same day, at least. And then on Sunday, we'll be traveling with Igboho to Manchester by God's grace, inshallah. That should be fine. So I will be with him throughout the period he'll be here. There'll be a lot of engagement. And hopefully, there'll be room for, hopefully maybe some kind of sit down with him. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But the most important thing is it will be a good day. So as we're going into the new week, let us remain vigilant. Like I said, I'm not sure why Tinubu refused to travel to UN. Two things I'm thinking. I'm just thinking it could be a coup that he's thinking of that it might be Prof, or it could be his health challenge. Economy, because I don't know why he's not traveling to United Nations General Assembly, which is starting anytime. I think it's already started because I saw DJ copy that is there already at the UN. So what Alemi is entirely up to Tinubu. He's the president right now, and he decide whatever he wants to do. My name is Akintoye. Enjoy your Sunday. It's coming up to 7 minutes past 8. I gotta go now so that I can go and prepare my children for school tomorrow. I love you all. We will get there. Don't worry about my utterances. The British during the empire rules were more wicked. I am not wicked yet. I am still a diplomat. If I was wicked, there's a lot of things that we would have done. But we can't do anything because we have a leader and we have to listen to instruction from our leaders. Okay? So by go off, he did them in the movement. But for now, it's under a good care of Igboho and Akintoye, and they're doing exactly what we want them to do. Our can protect you, can shield you, and that's why you have a strong media like mine. Okay? I have the strength. And we will finish this, God's willing, before Nigeria will break. At week 17. So we are reading it because I don't want to spread it. I don't want to make it too short. That's why we take 1 week for a whole conversation. Today is the last day for corruption. Corruption is very worst. So next week, which is from tomorrow, is going to talk about the media. Also a very powerful one. So the next week, let me tell you what the topic is going to be. So let me just look at it from here. So Moki, the PA of the Babakitoye, Moki Bubu YSDM, Moki Bubu, our leader as well. So from next week, We are going to week 18. We shall have trusted and respectable public media, not like TVC, which Tinubu created for himself. So, on Monday, we shall have trusted, respectable public media. So, we're almost there. Party Lode, so we're already half of it already. So, we have to pari late, at the boss of the moon. Clement, thank you so much. And all our Biafra, like I said, I was in communication with Simon Ekpa this morning. We pray for him. Please, let's continue to pray for Nnamdi Kanu. Let's pray for IGBOHO. Let's pray for myself. Let's pray for all those that are working tirelessly. The Biafra government in exile. The Ambazonia. Let's pray for every one of us because they are not happy that this generation has turned things around. And that is the way it's meant to be. So, good night from this end. My name is Olamide. Self-determination is not a crime. Self-determination is actually what we call inalienable right. Moki, Gbogbo, and Christians, Muslims, and Onisheshi, atheists, astrology, Hindus. And I say peace must come to the world. And we can do the same thing by bringing the peace to the world when we have our own country. Good night and bye for now. Good night. And once again, thank you so much for spending that 3 hours, 42 minutes with us on Koiki Media. Bringing the world closer to your doorstep. My team will be reporting live from tomorrow morning from Ile-Ife for the Thank you so much, everyone, from the Twitter space all the way straight to the Mixer lab.